Shut up, I'm trying to watch Judge Joe Brown.
Mayonnaise, Dijon. And I'm like, part of me was like, what was that?
I mean, you eat your pineapples today? That's my
Get out.
But I had a green smoothie.
A detox.
Simple
Segregated
times.
That's
That's
what we
it.
need.
There was literally a hashtag that says for Michelle. I'm talking about Michelle Williams from Destiny Child. I was too busy using our house computer for porn. I didn't necessarily.
Bad AOL.
Right. I was not into watching the little pictures scroll in slowly. Like, oh, yes. And I know you are naked, right? I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep because I miss you, baby. And I don't want to miss a thing. Even when I think of you. The sweetest thing will never do because I miss you, baby. And I don't want to miss a thing. Ooh.
What?
I don't know what was going on, but that was pure worship. Thank y'all for indulging me. I felt like Tyler Smith without the lips.
And I don't want to miss a thing.
That's it. Ooh.
One day I'm going to come here singing Sex on Fire
Ooh.
Ooh.
and just lose it.
Love that. Hot as a fever.
That'll be for the Valentine's Day episode.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
It's on fire.
Oh my.
That's for the AIDS episode.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 4, season 3, Nights at the Round Table podcast. We back.
What up?
This is your girl Coley. Who over here with me?
Yo, this your boy Esquire. I'm in the building one more time because I don't want to miss a thing.
Don't. He won't.
I don't.
We won't let it.
He was very early. He didn't miss shit.
Ooh.
Thankful.
good.
And I was late.
It's all good.
Najee was late, but he here.
That's good. We're so glad that you were here. Welcome back, guys. We did see the people here recently, but now we are back to do our official business. Shit.
We are cranking out content, aren't we?
We are like out here. The world has changed rapidly since we last heard from you guys. You heard from us. We technically have a president-elect. Some people are not okay with it. I think that was the last thing we said. Like, we hope next time we hear from y'all, like, it's gonna be a solid decision.
We do. We have a president-elect and we have a president in hiding right now.
An actual president in hiding.
We have a
ain't seen
commander
him.
inside. Is what we have.
It's inside with that screen
inside.
door locked, so you know he in for the night.
He is. What is that hidden area under the Pentagon that we're not supposed to know about? That's where he is. He's
The
not
bunker,
coming out.
the bunker or panic room.
Where is the dude with the big eye? What's his name?
Big eye.
The one who was in Black Panther.
The big eye.
With the big
Forrest
eye.
Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker.
With the big eye. Or maybe the small eye. He was in movie Panic Room.
Yes,
the
he was in
droopy eye.
panic room.
I don't really know many people's real names, so I have to like go through their characters and kind of work backwards.
It's not looking good. We've been sitting here since this last time, just kind
They
of watching
still
it
ain't called
unfold.
Georgia.
They're gonna do a recount.
I know
Yes,
that,
the
but still,
runoff.
they could at least called it and then did the recount.
They're not gonna call it.
We were at what, 8,000? Oh no, that was
10 when I saw it
There's
last
like
time.
over 12 now.
okay. Well, that's we've been watching that. I've actually for the last what's today? I have not watched any news in the last 48 hours because I just got so overwhelmed with it. I've seen all I need to see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna check back in a couple days and see if they still in the same foolishness. But it's
you
been
don't
a
want to
relief.
miss a thing.
Well, I don't mind at this point. I've got the information I need.
That's good.
Shit. Went through all of this. We have probably done quite a bit of libation intake. What we drinking on?
Najee, what you got?
Lemonade, coconut, 1800, and Jarreau.
Ooh, okay. I have been mixing. I've been back on my muddling. I've been muddling prior to these gentlemen arriving, but I decided to put that away because that one's looking like it was going to sneak up on me. What I can't do is have y'all see me slipping in about an hour.
You better be fucking right trying to go vote again. Standing at the polls.
We show up at Mitch McConnell's house like,
Call it for Joe.
I'm drinking Tito's, and now with a little club soda and a little lemonade. So
That sounds refreshing.
It's very refreshing. And what it's not going to do is put me on my ass like it was going to originally.
Wow. I'm down there in the gutter with
Yes.
a little bit of bowl, what'd you call it, Najee? Ginger.
Ginger ale.
That too. And
Ginger.
Captain Morgan's with my foot on the barrel.
Hell
And
yeah.
my knife on that motherfucker's neck.
Captain.
Yes.
Captain.
Yes. Speaking of foots on necks, shout out to Kamala. Get out. Do that thing, bro. You got it. You got it in your suffragette white.
That
We
baby
love
had
it.
that Colgate white outfit on. She
It was
in there
eggshell.
She was looking real beautiful up there, just standing up there. I was like, is that an angel?
But you saw what happened when them fireworks went off. And her husband was like, I knew they were going to try and take me out first.
No, when them fireworks and that music started playing, shout out to Ashley Biden, who was living her best
She was-
life.
She was
Dancing.
turned as shit. Like, ooh, this is my shit. When did
Why
nobody
did-
swag surfing?
Why didn't she come out with everybody else? Like, she came out after everyone else.
She was taking
dancing.
shots.
She was. She was in the back taking
shit.
shots and some coke. Her and Uncle Joe damn sure did a line before they came out, because when that nigga shorty load his way out to the stage,
Yes.
I thought I was going
It's
to
the
die.
beat.
I was like, did he just go running out here?
That was
They
very
know.
good. Whoever did that was a genius.
That was an amazing production, how they did that.
Yes.
The fireworks, even the playlist, all that was just
Yes.
like
It
really
was like
good.
it paid homage to his son, because apparently that one of those songs was like his favorite song.
Oh, really?
The Coldplay song
Coldplay
was his
song,
favorite
yes.
song. His Bo's
Yes.
favorite song. I don't know much about the other child of his that passed. I've heard about Bo because that was more recent, but I don't know if the other one died a while back.
Oh, he is. That was like back in the 70s.
When
His
they were-
daughter
when they
and
were
his
little,
son
yeah.
were babies, and they died in a. No, it was a daughter and his wife died in a car crash.
Oh no!
And the boys were left, and then they had Ashley later. No.
Ashley came on with Jill.
We Jill. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, that sucks.
So that was good. We're very happy about that outcome, and just stay tuned. I'm sure we'll be talking about it as it unfolds in the next 70 days. We're not done.
Right. So a little more drama, but we out here.
And then we can sing "No More Drama."
Oh, please.
Yes.
Yes. Speaking of singing, what are we listening to as we get through these exciting few days? Let's go with Najee. You've got something fun for us.
I'm gonna go last.
Okay. Okay.
And pass. Hard pass.
Esquire, what you got?
Well, lately I have been on a real Caribbean type sound. I have been
Not a
like,
Jamaican one. I appreciate your growth. I appreciate
thank
you.
you so much, Najee. I would never disrespect you, and you know that.
Or the vice president elect.
Or the vice president elect.
Thank you.
I've been,
Yes.
I don't know, maybe it's because I've been like experimenting more with like different spices in my food.
Okay, all right.
Getting my mangoes and stuff in, but I've discovered a young man by the name of Jarreau Vandal. I think that's how he pronounces it.
Jarreau.
Vandal. And he has an album out called Suburban Superhero, The Villain Within. And
You know you like villains.
yes, I do like villains. It's a short little EP, maybe 24 minutes long. Notable tracks that's on there is called Obsessive. What is the other one? Every time I think of you, bad shit happen. Bad shit.
Name of the song, yes.
And my playlist is like not coming up for me. Was it Cold Outside?
Yes, Cold Outside, the
and
last
Cold
track.
Outside.
Yes.
So if you want just a very good little, like I said, Caribbean sound that you can just put on, you can actually have it playing like on repeat for like 3 hours, 24 minutes, and you'll be right all right. So that's my contribution to the cause.
Nice. I co-signed Esquire's. It was also possibly one of my choices. So good stuff. Y'all listen to it. My other option that I have is I think it's a one guy. I don't know. It's they in all caps with a period. I've seen their stuff in other places, but I listened to this one. I don't know why I enjoy it so much. The album is called The Amanda Tape. So whoever Amanda is, he is pissed at her.
Is he pissed like Iman was?
He's more like pissed, but like he's still gonna fuck. Or like she come over.
Ebon.
Remember Iman?
Don't want you back. You remember?
Oh, him.
Back in, that
What
was
he like?
ages ago.
We were in middle school.
He was like Latinx or something like that singing.
I have
wasn't
no
he?
clue.
I
All I
don't
know
even
is that he
remember.
was hurt. He
Yeah.
said, "I taught you."
Got you.
I was so upset.
He was going
That's my
through.
find your note.
He goes from telling Amanda that he will always want to hang out with her to like just being like, why don't you fuck with me no more? Like, what the fuck is your problem? So my tracks that I enjoy are "Count Me In" at the very beginning. And a track called "All Mine," which about halfway through is once she's left him, I assume, but he's like hanging around her house, letting her know that like that pussy's mine, like you're never gonna leave me. Esquire, the young man that the one that always Dejan, so it reminds me of him, like with that weird like guitar kind of off kilter sound, but with a little more discipline in it. So I don't joke. And shout out to like my honorable mention, Shoot the Club Up on that same album.
Wow. They need to watch.
Like, wait a minute.
They need to watch Amanda because he is coming for her.
Literally.
Right.
He gonna find out
in more ways than one.
She squirts.
I've never heard someone tell a woman they're going to shoot her club up in such in such a ridiculous way.
Oh, I was like, damn, you ain't lived.
I'm about to say that's
the
pretty
best
common there.
text. Yes. Can I shoot your club up later?
And the way that she did it, it's quite ridiculous.
Nobody's getting out alive.
Shit.
At all.
She didn't respond. I went to sleep last night. No, you didn't. You didn't want to respond. So I am. I was sent Omarion's most recent project.
Yes.
Oh.
Something from 2020, guys. Something from 2020.
So proud of you.
It's called The Kinection. Is that how you say that, right? But it's spelled K-I-N.
Is it like kin, like kinfolk? Is that what he's meaning? Maybe?
I don't know what that nigga means. He ain't touched, so I don't know. He's on a different wavelength now, ever since April, He's just different. He's a different guy.
So what you think about the whole thing as a whole?
You're doing too much. See, I didn't listen to the whole album. Ooh. I sent y'all the 2 songs that I listened to.
Oh.
See now everybody's like the whole thing. I was just gonna start with the album and say the tracks that I listened to were Mutual featuring Wale and no, don't start playing. That's not what I actually do. You piece of shit. And Unbothered.
Oh,
those are 2 that I've heard thus far. I have not listened to it all the way through yet, but I like those 2 tracks.
Got you.
What I think about the whole body of work. I'm taking strides into the new millennia. Okay, let me just have that part. I haven't listened to the whole album yet. Yeah.
Bro, I never meant to disrespect you. I'm sorry.
No disrespect.
Please take my humblest apology.
Honor on you and honor on your cow.
Thank you so much.
We're good.
That's good.
I appreciate that.
Great. Y'all go ahead and check those out. Those albums, we will put those in our description for you so you can see what they are. Check them out, listen to them. I hope you're enjoying our playlist we got out there. We got Find Your Note. Is it 9 that's out there right now?
It's 9.
Number 9 is out there. Some good stuff. Stay tuned. Next couple episodes, we'll get some more stuff out there for y'all. But we're going to keep it right on moving to see what in the hell has been going on.
It's actually almost time for me to get back into the So Sassy playlist. It's been a while.
Whoa, is it time?
It's been a while.
It is cuffing season, and you got your forever cuff.
It's cuffing season, but it's not cold.
This is true.
It's not cold because it's COVID.
I don't like the way you did that together like that. Wow. It's COVID season.
What?
It is.
COVID season or not, someone who either needs he definitely needs a tissue after crying his eyeballs out on the national television, Van Jones. So Van Jones is getting dragged. He's getting dragged.
He's getting a dragging.
He's getting a dragging for multiple things currently. The number one thing is that he mistook someone's queen, Beyonce, for Mary J. Blige, which is a crazy confusion. Like, how did you do that? He said that.
I need a little backstory on this one because I feel like I don't.
So Van Jones on Saturday noted that our lovely Vice President-elect Kamala Harris came out to Beyonce. She, in fact, came out to Mary J. Blige's Work That. That's what she's been coming out to a lot recently.
Okay.
So the fact that he, number one, has missed it this whole time and then mistook it for Beyonce and said it on TV. But shout out to Anderson Cooper for correcting him.
They don't even sound the same.
At all.
Mary J. and Beyonce.
One actually sounds good.
Ooh.
Which one?
Well,
B.
we're not going to go there.
I don't dislike Mary. I always love that playing the other side of the field.
What?
Black people are really protective of Mary J. Now that she got clean, they get real protective over her.
Absolutely, she sounds fucking phenomenal. Although Mary, when she was going through her drug struggles, was a little bit of a good time.
Yes, sorry, I was listening to you. I was just thinking.
Sorry, folks.
She's been doing that a lot today.
Coley was having a stroke, and we were just trying to figure out what we needed to do to help.
Mary is fine, and that is not the point. But that was not her, Van, and I'm glad that was not Beyonce. Excuse me. I'm glad that Anderson corrected you. That was the first thing. And then shortly after, the people that live on the internet in the comments decided to bring up some photographs of Van Jones canoodling with the Republican Party. Namely, was that Eric or Donald in that picture?
Some of them. I think he took one of both of the Trumps, but I think it was Eric because he has like the lighter hair.
Yes.
Yes, Eric.
Him. He was out there with just. It looked like he was like in a tux, like at a party maybe with some of them.
So it needs to be full context. Van Jones was very instrumental with working to get prison reform done. They had been trying to get prison. He used to work in the Obama administration. That's what they wanted to do. They saw an opportunity to get it done with Donald Trump. He took it. So when he was up there, he was schmoozing with Donald Trump, taking pictures with like Candace Owens and everybody. But he was at a signing when Donald Trump signed the legislation. But Van Jones has been very upfront. If Donald Trump can get something for us, then I'm going to be there to get it done. But people saw that as, oh, now all of a sudden you want Biden and Harris to win when you was just hanging out with Donald Trump.
Okay, so that makes more sense because someone said to me the other day because I reposted his like spill that he had on CNN when he was crying and whatnot, and so someone was like his old Trump supporting ass. I said, wait, what? I was really confused. I was like, I thought he worked for the Obama administration, and then they were like, yeah, but he's a Trump supporter. And I was like, I don't think he's a Trump supporter.
He's not a Trump supporter. He got a Trump signature for prison reform.
He got a presidential signature is what he got.
A presidential signature.
It just so happened to be that Trump was the president at the time.
Absolutely.
So yes, the people.
But he still should know who Beyonce is.
No, that he should know. So that's unacceptable. But the people have not been letting that fly. They were not checking the context of it. Per Esquire's information there, they were just going off the photos that they see. Which, at a time like this, why is that what we're worried about? But who left the gate open for?
That's exactly what they do nowadays.
Is that what it is?
People going all the way back, look and see what you got going on.
To do what? Cancel them.
Ooh, that's exactly what happens.
That sounds about right.
It's coming next.
Well, you know what's not canceled? COVID in the White House.
Because it's COVID season.
It's COVID season, and once again, someone else in the White House has been affected by the COVID. He's chief of staff, correct?
Yes.
Chief of staff Mark Meadows was it was released that he has the COVID-19 virus, as well as Ben Carson over the weekend.
Sugarfoot.
And multiple AIDS.
And then there's also, they're saying that this man did not die from it, but he was at the spreader event that other people have caught it at.
Super spreader
Bishop Harry
event.
Jackson, one of the president's evangelical advisors, has passed away. And they said it's not from that, but he was at that event. So that is to be determined, I guess, with more other information coming out.
Autopsy?
They will never try to say someone died at Donald Trump's event, i.e. Herman Cain, and obviously this good bishop. So they're, they'll never pin it on them, even though he hadn't been to any gathering except for this event with the judge and the president.
What did he die from? An upper respiratory infection?
Right.
Unknown causes.
Right.
Aliens. There's a gerbil in his body.
The Lord called him home.
He pulled a Mel Gibson. Had a gerbil in his ass.
Way,
my God.
Whatever it is, it's unfortunate that this keeps happening, but that is what it is. We've been watching it. So, who left the gate open for the White House? Also.
The president?
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Well, we don't know. Well, somebody did. We don't know.
He left that bitch open.
It was Melania. She ran out of there and left the gate open. And while she was running, Eva Longoria snuck in. I don't know how I feel. I don't feel any way about this. She was doing an interview on MSNBC talking about the election, per everything else that's been going on. A young man that she was interviewing with made a statement about black people and their votes, black women. And Eva Longoria said, to the effect of, this is me paraphrasing, oh no, that's really great, but let's be clear, the Latino women came out, and we Latino women, that vote was very integral and important to this election. And she went on a whole little monologue about the Latino woman vote, to which a few hours later, of course, people took to the internet after seeing that and were showing receipts of the actual Latino vote numbers and saying, how dare she prolong the narrative about Latino people and black people and making things so much worse, giving her all types of problems. You were married to a black dude. Is that how it go?
He was French. He was French.
It's
a different kind
I knew I should have been watching Desperate Housewives. This crazy, irrational shit. She put out what I think was a very, very sensible apology or explanation. I would not have gathered all of that from her statement, but apparently people on the internet are not having anyone take anything away from them during this time.
Well, shout out to Eva Longoria. Only she's going hard for, her clique, her group, and I wouldn't expect her to do anything else. And shout out to us going hard for black women who they say black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. They vote in high numbers, such as like 98, 99% for the Democratic Party. So I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe, the apology, it is what it is. But if I know she does major outreach with Latinx and people in the Latino community. So, maybe she was just speaking off her experiences. I don't know. Maybe that was a slip of the tongue to say they carried it.
Yes. I don't think it was meant to be malicious at all. I would agree with that. But nevertheless, people are doing what they do and they are attempting to cancel her and not let her through the gate. So it is what it is. We don't have a dog in that fight. Yeah. We don't have one, but those are the things y'all are mad about. Feel free to let us know what else you're mad about here in the next few days as time continues. Who else are you canceling? Who else is pissing you off? Who else should we not let through the gate? While y'all talk about it, we're going to let somebody else through the gate, someone who is not canceled, a very good friend of ours who we love and respect.
Have you ever had a creative idea for something, but you didn't know how to create it? What about ideas for the perfect gift that was unique and couldn't be found anywhere else? Maybe you have an idea for a design or logo that shows your personality and builds your brand. If any of these things speak to you, then we have the perfect partner. Invincible Designs is a collaborative design studio that caters to the creativity in your mind that needs to be artistically expressed. They enjoy new creative challenges and deliver design solutions that are high impact and made to last long term. They provide a wide array of design services spanning from tangible customs such as wall art and plaques to carefully created digital designs such as logos and flyers. If you have creative ideas that need to be cultivated and brought to life now, this is the time to reach out. You can contact Be Invincible Design through email at bnvdesigns@gmail.com, and that's a Z on the end, or on their social media. Their IG page is bnv_designs, remember with the Z. So for all your creative needs, don't be creative, be invincible.
Donald Trump has lost the fucking election.
Yes, he did.
Along with his fucking mind.
Yes. Yes, for Donald's mind. Moment of silence. For Mike. For Donald Jr. Ivanka. Jared. Dear sweet Melania.
And Barron. They going back to Florida. So look, after 75 million fucking votes, Donald Trump is gone. I'd say that was the biggest fucking cancellation America has ever done.
Yes.
Do y'all not agree?
I would say yes if the other side that didn't cancel him wasn't so close to 75 million. But in sheer number wise, absolutely.
That's a lot of motherfuckers.
I thought it was about to be much more disproportionate in terms of like the popular vote. I could understand him winning some of the really rural middle of the country, middle America, as people call it, states. I was really shocked at the fucking popular. I said, oh.
He got very close. As I was saying that last time, Donald Trump is a force of nature.
Yes.
He was not going out without a fight. So he got fucking canceled. And is it safe to say that the people who voted for him got a little canceled too? Are they going to get canceled?
No.
No?
Oh, no, they try to tell us not to cancel them.
Uncle Joe says, just because you voted differently than me does not make you my enemy.
He did. He said we are not enemies. We're Americans.
Say it because we there's too much division. There's too much division.
We have to stop this. He said.
Well, Uncle Joe may not be canceling them, but I know a lot of other people that's like, if you voted for Donald Trump, stay the hell out of my inbox, stay out of my house, stay out of my DMs.
It's not on you.
I don't want anything to do with you. Somebody liked a picture that Mrs. Najee posted that I was in, so she tagged me in it, but it was one of my friends from work from a while back. And her picture is a vote for Donald Trump. So Ms. Najee blocked her. I was like, she's not even your friend. She was like, I don't give a fuck.
Don't give a fuck.
Wow.
Block her.
Yes.
Block her.
Well, ladies and gentlemen out there in Pod World.
She was part of the 55%.
Hell yeah.
Oh, wow, for real?
Mm-hmm,
she was trying to be petty. That's what that was.
Wow.
No, she had it before the election.
Oh.
That's been her profile picture for like at least the last 2 months.
Oh, damn. Hey, we going back in the race and history.
Time machine. That's what it is.
We're going back in time. Ladies and gentlemen in Pod World, if you haven't figured it out right now, Today we're going to be talking about canceling.
Dun,
or cancel culture, I should say. We have been wanting to talk about this for a long time. Mm-hmm. We just didn't know when, but then the election happened, and we were like, this can go one of two ways.
Right?
Either he gets canceled or he doesn't. Yes.
So either he gets canceled or democracy gets canceled.
Either way it goes. One of them's going to get canceled. But look, the way that this came about was last year. Was it last year, I believe?
Yes, that was 2019. Yes.
The Rock had allegedly come out with some different comments related to the snowflake generation or the younger generation. And it's later been disproven that he didn't say it, but these are the comments that were alleged to him. He said, I don't have to agree with what somebody thinks, who they vote for, or what they voted for, or what they think, but I will back their right to say or believe it. That's democracy. So many good people fought for freedom and equality, but this generation is looking for a reason to be offended. Generation Snowflake, or whatever you want to call them, are actually putting us backwards. And we thought that was his way of taking a shot not only at the younger people, but also at cancel culture itself, mm-hmm. and just how people do different things. So before we get into that, and I know we can talk about what Barack Obama said, but I kind of want to get y'all thoughts on, what do you think about cancel culture? Do you believe in it?
Go ahead.
No, ladies first, please.
Okay. I do not fully get behind that. Context is important. And I don't, because some of this stuff has nothing to do with me, and I'm not one of those people where, like, principle is important, yes, but unless it's directly affecting me, I'm going to be that person. So to those out there listening, that is what it is. If it's not directly affecting me, I don't feel the need to follow that trend. Kanye, Lil Wayne, Banjo, whoever we're talking about, like, that is, they don't interact with me. So what they choose to do and say, it's not affecting my money every day. It's not affecting my job, my livelihood, the people I love. Do what you do. When money make you act different anyway. Mm-hmm. I don't have those problems.
I think that the cancel culture hinges on how it touches my morals and or values. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, Robert, what Robert did is, like, it's unthinkable. It's just disgusting, and I can't, like, in my right mind, continue to support somebody that's doing something continuously, not even alleged, like continuously doing something for the last 30 years that I think is just completely wrong. Now, you want to talk about somebody who's like, look, these young motherfuckers is soft. I don't know that I disagree with him completely, but I think that everything that in that alleged statement from The Rock, I think everything was hitting good until that last sentence. That last sentence is what made it controversial, because these niggas are looking for something. They're not necessarily looking for something to be offended by, but they are very conscious of being offended.
I think I agree with you. I guess from my own personal standpoint, I used to didn't believe in cancel culture. And maybe it's because it's just the times that we live in now. Like, people would say something controversial, or they would do something. You just be like, you know what? I enjoy this person for X, Y, and Z. Or they say something else crazy, be like, look, I'm just keeping it on X, Y, and Z. But I think since now that we're in such a social media age, and a combination of people are able to keep showing you different things that this person has done, or that person hasn't learned their lesson from what they've said before, and they continuously make statements. Yeah, it's like, well, I see it all the time. I don't want to be a part of that or associated with that. I think it's time to just, get them on up out of here. They clearly haven't learned what they were talking about. But Najee, to your point, where you were saying some people are looking to be offended and all this kind of stuff, just based on the comments that were allegedly given to The Rock, Barack Obama made a statement about that. He recently was at a summit, I believe, about last year, and he was just saying his thoughts on cancel culture, just basically being, you're not a real activist, or you're not making a real statement by canceling people, by getting online and trying to publicly shame them or get their account shut down or get them put out of business or something. That's not true activism. You're sitting behind your computer all day, and you feel like because you made 100 other people turn against someone else online, that you're doing something. So I don't know.
He's like you said, life is messy. Things are ambiguous. Like, you can't just decide that it's just incorrect and it's all bad. Like, you don't get to make that call just because you don't like it. Yeah. And I fully agree with our forever president in that statement.
Surprisingly, the conservatives who don't believe in cancel culture were holding Barack up as a hero because he made that statement. You know, he's right. Y'all listen to your president. He's right. You know, about cancel culture
because they need to be canceled.
Right. And before we go on, good people, if you don't know what cancel culture is, here's the proper definition for it. It's the phenomenon of naming, shaming, and or refusing patronage to individuals, businesses, and institutions perceived to have flouted certain social cultural norms or engaged in actions that are deemed to be offensive or inappropriate by prevailing public opinion. Because that's really what it is, right?
Yes.
Is this the first definition or the second definition from Webster? There's normally like two.
There's normally like two. I actually got this from botpopuli.net.
Oh.
I think somebody was doing like a thesis or something like that on cancel culture, and when I looked at that little definition, I was like, that actually sums that up correctly. What the hell is going on?
They probably defended that dissertation very well.
They probably did, but I guess they were looking at trying to see if cancel culture should even exist. And I'm of the mindset that in certain cases it should exist. I think there are certain people that should be canceled. They shouldn't be allowed to continue on with, I don't know, receiving accolades and praise when they're doing something that's completely crazy. I.e., example, our good, forever, big canceled Donald Trump, Thanos. Yes. Like, that presidency is a fucking mess. That needed to be canceled. That needed to be shut down. He needed to be run up out the White House.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I find like there is a fine line between canceling and boycotting. And I think I lean more towards the side of boycotting than I do canceling. Because I think that more people cancel you based off of, I'm going to go online and shame you, basically. Versus if you're boycotting, you're kind of doing something that takes more action that's actually an actionable thing, personally.
I would agree. Like, I didn't say, you mentioned R. Kelly. I didn't say a whole lot outwardly about R. Kelly, but when you said that, it made me think, you know what? I actually don't listen to R. Kelly anymore. And it's not something that I think about. I just don't. I think we mentioned on an episode last season where Miss Nikki and I like shamed a DJ for playing R. Kelly. So it's like, I guess, you know, that's me, my little random personal thing. As much music I listen to, it's not playing on any of my outlets. So yes, I would say I'm a boycott person also.
So if R. Kelly got back out and he was, you know, he got his Instagram popping and he was looking for friends and all kinds of stuff, he may have requested you. Just as a random.
Well, he's not requesting me. I'm twice the age of someone he would request.
No. You're old enough for him to request you, but you're going to be one of the ones that he wants to control, make you piss in a bucket.
True. Oh, I'm not doing that.
Are you going to be one of those people that gets in his comments, Coley, and be trying to call him a monster and everything like that? And like, what the hell is this going on?
I'm not dealing with any of that. That's not even like, it's your hypothetical situation is ridiculous.
Okay, so you wouldn't do that. You just said you shamed the DJ
today.
you just said you shamed the DJ for playing, so you're not going to shame him online if he comes back.
No, I don't need to, like, what do you call it? Dignify him with any type of response for my social media. I'm just not listening to him.
But you shamed the DJ because you were just there.
Yeah, I could see the DJ. He was someone that I could see, and I was like, "Hey, don't play that shit." He was like, "What? Everybody loves the song." I'm like, "Bro, that's not cool." And the lady next to me was like, "Fuck that shit. We love R. Kelly."
So you do your public shaming offline.
I'm in real life. Like, the people in the comments, they afraid. I'm like, hell no, don't play that shit out loud with a drink in my hand. Don't play that shit.
Meanwhile, somebody behind her said, "DJ, won't you play that girl a love song? She really needs to hit this freaking love song."
She's looking at me and I'm thinking,
well, how about this? Because we talked about if it even should exist, if we believed in it. So you said you're more of a boycotter now. So you've never canceled anybody?
No, because I think that I'm not going to shame you, or I'm not going to be out here like talking down about you and just whatever. I'm just not going to support you in a way that actually is impactful. Similarly to what happened with the NFL the other year when they were on their bullshit. And I was like, I'm just not going to watch the NFL. And I didn't, and I haven't since. My mother watched it on Sunday.
Well, now you know, with based on this guy's thesis, it's more than just shaming. It's naming, shaming, and or refusing patronage to individuals, businesses, and institutions. So
have you ever seen like I'm drawing a graph here, right? And cancel is a big circle.
Mm-hmm.
A subset of cancel is boycotting, which is one of the ways to cancel someone. I fall into that specific realm because I don't believe in the stuff that falls outside of the realm, which is going to be the shaming and like the name and that part I'm not a big fan of.
Okay, so
but the refusing of the patronage, which to me is a boycott action, is what I would lean towards.
I have my refusing of the patronage, which is my canceling culture. Recently, there was a very beautiful, what are they called? Not the Instagram, what is it? Instagram models, I guess is what they're called, that you follow. You know, sometimes you're just looking at, you have those accounts where you just watch just because, hey, I just want to get some good eye candy.
Yeah.
What this model recently did was she had a picture of herself like laid out in some like lingerie, and it was like one of the ones where you get to scroll over to see more pictures. After you scrolled over, it was like, okay, so now they have your attention. I just want to let you know this. Scroll over again. COVID is not real. It was George Floyd being killed was manufactured. Those were actors. Ooh. And then it went on again. And it was just like, this is just something that's being controlled by the white man with these two people running for president. They want you to take the vaccine. And it was just like real crazy.
Like conspiracy theory to the utmost.
To the utmost. And then she puts like this long paragraph in where she's just like explaining all those different things. Wow. And then people are in the comments telling her like, you sound real crazy right now. She's like, read up on it, all this happening. And she just like turns to a whole nother person. And I was like, if you don't believe 200 and some people have died from COVID, or that George Floyd wasn't actually killed, fuck his family coming out and they burying him and all this kind of stuff, I don't know if I need to be associated with this. Like, and by me refusing patronage was, you get your money as a influencer by me liking different things and all this kind of stuff. And so I just went ahead and kind of like unfollowed, not blocked, but unfollowed. And I refused to like even give views or anything like that anymore. I was like, I can't be behind that.
That's fair.
I think that to me is an appropriate way to move things, because you know what they need to do to move their needle, and that's going to be their likes and then their subscribers or their whatever. So if you take that part away, that's all you can do. Like, I mean, you're not going to get her arrested because she has these particular views, but you can say, as for me and my house, we do not stand with that.
Yeah.
What about you, Coley?
I agree wholeheartedly with that statement. Now that we've gone on with it, the boycotting thing looks like it's more my thing. Unless we're talking about 45, because I will cancel him all up and through my social media.
So was your boycott recently just the R. Kelly thing?
That's probably the most recent thing I can think of, yes. I deliberately don't play his music. So
okay. Well, is there any cancellation or boycotting of someone that you did not agree with when it was happening?
Chick-fil-A.
Okay, Chick-fil-A.
Wait, what?
Chick-fil-A.
What about Chick-fil-A?
Whatever that stuff came out about Truett Cathy and the things that he said. That was when the CEO of Chick-fil-A.
Oh, you know him? You know him?
No, that's just his name, Truett Cathy.
Basically, he was saying that he didn't support gay marriage.
Yes.
And that and all this stuff. And so there was big backlash from people saying, oh, we're not going to eat at Chick-fil-A anymore. You know,
but they still pulled up.
The Chick-fil-A had better sales than they knew what to do with. They was swimming in money at that point.
It's just one of those things. Like, and I thought about it long. I thought about it. I really did. I was like, okay, that sucks. As someone who is very pro LGBTQ plus in the communities, with people in my life that fall into those categories, but I was like, but damn chicken biscuits.
Oh wow! I just want to know. I stand with you, but I also stand in line to get something to eat as well.
It was more like a subtle thing of looking around to see if they were still ordering, and like when they were still ordering, I was like, cool. Can I get a number 8 extra Polynesian sauce? Thank you so much.
I bet you $5. Well, I don't know. I don't know who was offended by that, because number one, I mean, I know who was offended, but I don't know anybody personally that was offended by that. That's of the LGBTQ community. Because number one, he couldn't change anything about marriage equality.
Exactly.
He's the CEO. Number two, the food is damn near good. And so,
and I also
what are you gonna do?
his personal views do not necessarily reflect that of Chick-fil-A. Now, if you're telling me that as the CEO of Chick-fil-A, I'm going to use all of my proceeds from y'all buying my food to turn around and create, have lobbyists trying to get these laws changed, that's a different story. Like when you start looking at how these big businesses are putting money into jails and stuff like that, and you're like, oh shit, I know that they were investing in these things that I'm paying them to basically do what I don't want them to do. That to me is different. But I do not think if his personal views don't speak for the company, and he wasn't like saying it like a company email like the other nigga.
And a lot of Chick-fil-A's are franchises anyway.
Yes.
So,
that's what I was about to say.
You find you a good franchise Chick-fil-A, you can probably slip through the gate.
And he's an old white dude. Of course he feels that way. Like he's very, very old. So of course that's how he feels. It has nothing to do with the person down the street that owns the local Chick-fil-A. And
I think they started to give away like free Chick-fil-A sandwiches at that point after he made those comments and people were trying to
like some of the people on the inside were like, oh, that's a bit much.
From a free Chick-fil-A sandwich, that'd be all right.
Yes.
Give him 2.
What about you, Najee? Is there someone that was attempted to be canceled or boycotted and you were like, hell no?
Michael Jackson.
Uh-huh.
Gotcha. Because I was just like, maybe I just don't want to. Maybe I am too deeply invested in Mike, his family, and everything about the first Thanos, aka Joe Jackson. Maybe I'm just too invested in his family to believe that could be the case.
Right.
Meanwhile, I don't know this nigga. R.I.P. I didn't know this nigga at all. So he could have been like doing everything that they alleged that he was doing, and
I'm right there with you.
But I was just like, no, not Mike. Not fucking Mike.
And people forget, Michael Jackson went through the court process.
He did.
And was found not guilty.
It was the glove.
It was the glove?
The lucky glove.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that. OJ? He went through the court process and was found not guilty.
Very much so. Then HBO gonna put out some bullshit documentaries with these 2 niggas talking shit about Mike. He's not here to defend himself.
You know what? That might be the reason why they came out for it. But I'm right there with you.
That's the reason Arizona went blue. Because 45 was talking shit about pass away John McCain. And it just ain't right. It just ain't right, I tell you.
I just
not.
Shout out to Mike.
Keep it in the closet.
I think for me, the one that I didn't necessarily agree with was Kevin Hart. After they
hell yeah.
After they dug up his old comments. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that, he did what he needed to do as far as like apologizing. But that whole canceling him and just wanting him to keep apologizing over and over again and holding him to a different standard than anybody else who made controversial remarks, I think that was absolutely insane.
Horse shit. Because what he said was fucking hilarious. When he said it sounded like his son with corduroys on sounded like he's shuffling cards. Like that shit was fucking funny. Like that's funny as shit. And for me, when people try to cancel comedians for making jokes, I'm just like, yo, y'all just don't have anything else to do with your life. Maybe you should beat off more because clearly you have entirely too much jizz in your body. You need to relax, relate, release because he is a comedian. They poke fun at this shit. That's not saying that he, as Kevin Hart, the actual human being, feels that particular way. No. That fucking was it seriously funny? That shit was hilarious.
Well, I've always said this, and I've said this to you before, Coley, as well. With comedy, it's a difference between jokes, having comedy, and being cruel.
Yeah.
Like, people are smart enough to realize when somebody is going in and being cruel.
Yeah.
Like, the jokes that, like, maybe Kevin Hart is making is a lot different than Kramer's jokes, who was... did you see that a long time ago when he made those
nigger this,
nigger this, nigger that, and he was like cussing at somebody in the crowd. He's like, "We'll hang you up, we'll string you up in the tree and put a fork in your ass," like straight going off.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to find comedy in that point. He was just trying to go off.
Yeah,
he was going on a rant.
Yeah,
that's what that was. So there's a difference between comedy and cruelty. So I'm with you. I don't believe in canceling comedians. Hell, they tried to cancel a couple years ago. They tried to cancel Big Monique.
I accept that.
Except her getting canceled.
Yeah, she can go.
Well, they tried to cancel
her and Daddy.
She was in Las Vegas, and I guess she was talking about basketball players and women getting cheated on with them and all this kind of stuff. And I guess she was saying something like,
I remember that.
She was like, bitch, if this king is cheating on you and all this kind of stuff,
you signed up for it.
You signed whatever.
I actually saw that the other day. It was funny. It was just on the other day.
And people were trying to get on her about or cancel her because not only was she talking about the cheating, but she was calling women bitches and calling him a king. And I was like, has she been calling women bitches for like her whole stand up, skinny bitch, fat bitch?
Most people
just saying bitches. That. Like,
and didn't the great Cat Williams tell y'all it's not? I call you bitches because I don't know your names individually.
That's it. That's the only reason why I use it.
I
use that explanation to this day when I call somebody a bitch. Like, bitch, I don't know their name, so forgive me.
Let's give comedians like a little circle, a little force field around, a little Wakanda-like force field around them, and just let it be that whole. And as a person indulging in that entertainment, you need to go in with the mindset of, am I affected or am I offended? If I'm offended, okay.
Don't listen.
Then don't listen if it bothers you that much.
It's the beautiful part about where we are now. You don't have to listen.
You don't have. There's certain people I won't listen to because sometimes it's just like, ugh, that's not it for me, and I won't listen to their comedy. That's all. That's simple.
And if you start getting to the point where you're canceling these people for what the art that they're creating and music or whatever and all this kind of stuff, you start getting into censorship. It feels like maybe I don't want to say necessarily freedom of speech because freedom of speech is a legal theory or an art that talks about you being able to say whatever you want to say without the government persecuting you, but be able to say what you want to say and express yourself. And I think it walks that fine line. Speaking of censorship, so people get on Twitter and like we say, people in these comments they say whatever they want to say. Your president especially will get on Twitter and say whatever. And there's been a big argument like saying, should Twitter or Facebook be banning some of these accounts, canceling out some of these accounts?
He had 2 today.
Or slapping labels on these people's for what they say.
Like liars?
Well, yes, liars, and also
in 40 characters.
If people are like getting together and forming a militia group online and they talking about getting together and walking the streets and they see this white militia, should Facebook be able to step in and just like cancel out their accounts because of whatever the hell they planning to do?
But I guess that's a part of the whole free speech like argument of saying like, well, free speech is only free when you're not on someone else's platform. So Facebook has the ability, if they want to lose some revenue, to say, hey, we don't allow certain things. Like, for instance, Tumblr went through a whole rebranding where Tumblr got rid of porn. Tumblr was notorious for porn, but they said we want to change our guidelines and standards, so we're not accepting that anymore. So if you post that, we're going to flag it and take it down. They let you know what it is, you keep it moving and go from there. But to just sit here now, if you want to do that, then cool. And I'm sure a lot of people probably left Tumblr and went to any other place where they could post whatever porn they wanted to post.
Twitter,
right? But then it doesn't necessarily mean that Tumblr do anything wrong. That's what they made their line in the sand and said this is what we're going to do. But don't know if these platforms want to say something in terms of you can't do that here, then absolutely. But Facebook is too much of we're not trying to get nobody's business unless you post something with music because then we'll get sued. So, no.
I don't even know that it's... I think, again, everything deserves context. Like right now, those militia groups most certainly do not need to be live streaming that kind of foolishness because what they're doing is inciting hate, which can turn into something completely different. So then your free speech, in quotes, turns into a hate crime of sorts as you walk the streets and intimidate people, call people names, and whatever ensues after you do this thing. Because those things don't end well, let's be honest. So I think that is where it comes in. It's totally fine to tell them that they cannot, because we don't need to give anyone any ideas. We don't need that's how that young man ended up in crossing. Where was he from? He was from Michigan or Wisconsin.
Oh, going into Kenosha because he's from Illinois.
Illinois, yes. That's how he ended up doing that on the internet, watching things. And he seeing shit on the internet was like, "Oh, I'm going out there with my AR-15." What? No.
Well, what about if you're posting up false information, like saying, for example, you put in a news report out there, Najee is notorious for killing people on Wednesdays, Jesus and you know it's fake, but Facebook flags it and or cancels the account that maybe is putting that out. But people are saying I should be allowed to post whatever I want on your site. You know, I'm not hurting nobody. Except for the person you lied on. I'm not hurting nobody, and we don't need a fact check. You know,
meanwhile, that militia at my house is Wednesday.
People should be able to form whatever opinions that they want.
I think that is totally fine. Like, why are you want to effectively lie? Why is that what you want to do? Why are you defending your right to lie?
That's cap.
I will defend your right to say things, yes, but if you are saying that there's something that is untrue, like actually untrue, like is unfounded, cannot be proven, why do you get to spread that foolishness?
Well, on Twitter, you can't now if you're the president, but you can put it in a press release.
Nobody's going to cancel that. That's official document.
But they're doing it so carefully, and they're giving you moments. Like here in the last month, they're like the little things pop up. If you say anything or hashtag anything related to what's going on right now with like election stuff, it pops up and it says, "Hey, check this. Want to fact check this?" I'm like, no, I didn't say anything, and I might not have anything factored. I just might use the hashtag to push my post up. Mm-hmm. But they want to check it, and they're giving you the opportunity to like be conscious about what you're posting. And I think that's fine. Mm-hmm. But if you're blatantly daily, like our president, putting out things like this, the last 7 days, he is every single day he has said something that's not true,
and they had to flag it.
Correct, because it's not true. If you're like, you can watch TV, you can read up on how the Board of Elections works. Everything he's saying is incorrect.
Fox News is even telling people to stop lying.
I think that I hate for the president, as soon as he gets out of office, that they are going to probably shut down his account. Like it's probably going to be shut down. But speaking of accounts, just kind of veering back into the cancel portion. Do you think people should be canceled for previous statements that they made online on Twitter? Like, can somebody go back 20 years and see where you were just on this major racist rant or homophobic rant or misogynistic rant when you were younger? Maybe you were like 18, but now you're 30 something years old. You got a lot of history on your account.
I say no, but
with asterisks.
There's definitely a but.
Okay.
So my thought is, the reason why someone should not be canceled for previous statements that they've made at a different point in the world or their life is because, again, it all comes into the context. So if someone makes a really dumb statement at 18, you imagine that people make dumb shit. Like, I looked at some of my tweets from when Twitter first came out. I'm like, why the fuck would I say that? Nothing that I would need to get canceled over, but like you adding people with sideways shit, it's like, damn, nigga, you was wild.
Wow, boy.
But no, go ahead. No question.
I'm about to say, well, what if you were 18 back in the early 2000s?
Yeah.
So what if this person was 18 2 years ago? They made it famous, and they're 21 now. So I guess they'll be what?
20. It's fine.
Yeah, whatever. They're 20 now. Can they still use that same argument? I was 18.
I wasn't finished with my full disclosure, because I think the difference is the growth of the individual. Mm-hmm. Because what you think at one point in your life, you're not bound to think that for your entire life. You might, but you're not required to. And so therefore, what you do back in the day, or even last week, like, because I could have said something really, really dumb on a podcast 2 weeks ago, but yet I was then informed about what it is that I was saying and why I was incorrect. You don't have to cancel me, but it all depends on like my level of humility, because am I going to come back on here own up to the fact that I said some shit that was really wrong, and I was educated, and I appreciate the education because now I understand it in a different way. Because if you I remember certain conversations that I had when I was young, growing up deep in the church, about homosexuality, and how I thought about that when I was 13, 14 years old is very different than how I understand it now, because I've had the education, I've had the experience. People have talked to me about their experiences, so I understand things in a much clearer way than just the fear of the Bible that was thrown at me as a child. And I think that would be one of my things of like, you could hold something against me that I said when I was 14 if you wanted to, but I'm not the same person I was then, and I'm actively willing to explain the fact that I was wrong then, but now I understand things differently.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm of the same respect. And we already mentioned Kevin Hart. He is a good example of that. He had a lot of crazy shit out there in the early 2010s that all that happened, but the person that we see actively in present day does not reflect those tweets. And even if it's inside the comedic realm, the tweets bring it out of the comedy special, and he had it in the tweets also. But that's not the guy that we see. He puts a lot of his life out there, all his little network that he has. So much of his life is out in the open, and we don't see any of that hate. It's not there. So that is what I choose to believe the person that I see in present day.
So cancel him for old tweets and not cancel him for cheating on his wife. It's like,
but then that's something that has nothing to do with me either. So that specific situation, but him as a broader statement, when you're making those type of hurtful statements, I think that is more. I mean, yeah, adultery is not cool, sure, but that's their business. Same with anyone else who has the same thing, but like saying that kind of thing that he said back in the day, not cool. But he wouldn't say it now. I feel like I can say firmly he wouldn't say it now. And anyone else who does that, like, unless I just hate them, like that stuff came out about like Camila Cabello. Like I don't like her music.
That's what I was just about to go back into that, because I was like, our first interaction with Twitter and Facebook that platform has evolved from where it is now. Now it's a lot more connective. Now you're able to see what people stand for, what they don't stand for, what they agree with. Just going back to, what's her name, Camila Cabello, where she allegedly, maybe 3 years ago, or
it was when she was in Fifth Harmony. It was back like in the 2014, 15,
2004, 2015. She was making whole Tumblr accounts where she is making racist statements, putting in memes and all this kind of stuff. And that's, in the meme era, you should know what black people believe in. I could say the N-word. That's how I was raised. In the meme era, I think we pretty much let you know you can't say the N-word and all that kind of stuff. So now she's 21?
Ish, something like that.
22,
something like that.
She was like 17 back then. She was saying, those are statements I made. I was young. I was dumb. I didn't know, but I know now. I don't know how I feel about that. It was also
before she was fully famous. There's parts of it that I understand it, but then at the same time,
it's a certain generation. Like, I don't know.
And she was in a group. She was in a group of women
that had a black person in it.
She's in the group with Normani. So like, you're talking to someone daily that's probably not going to be okay with that.
Or she was talking to one person that was okay with it. And therefore she thought, so again, context, people's experience, everything kind of lines up differently as to why that is okay or not okay. To the masses who don't know this girl, who don't know her upbringing, it ain't okay. But if you're in a bubble and you're used to your people in your bubble and they say it's fine, then you learn that it's not okay when you go outside that bubble and try and, use those bubble activities. And they're like, nah, bitch, not here, not at all. But I also think that it begs the question of, did you change how you felt publicly because you have more to lose from what you could potentially be your true feelings?
True.
Because I think a lot of times when people have these things, you don't see somebody having a fall off in their career, and when they're at the height of their career, they say something crazy, and then when they fall off, they realize, oh damn, like I found Jesus. That ain't what it is. That's normally not how it goes. It's normally you're like a little startup. No one really knows you, so you're being yourself, doing whatever you want to, and then you take off in whatever fashion. And now it's like, I don't want to offend anyone. I don't feel that way because I would never say that, because you recognize that what you're doing is offensive and it's going to be harmful to your bottom line. So then that's just the skeptic in me to start sitting here and think, I don't know if I believe you, because what you said when you were, what they say, drunk thoughts are the true thoughts, something like that.
Drunk thoughts speak a sober mind.
Yeah, that. And so it's like, when you're free and you have no repercussions to what you're saying, because she didn't get in trouble with that when she was 17. She got in trouble for that when she was 21 and she was actually worth something.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
But you
question
never
everything.
know. But you never know what's going on in someone's actual head, which is the hard part about all of this, is because you can be as skeptical as you want to be, but you don't know what's in somebody's heart unless you cut that bitch out.
Well, if you're famous, make sure y'all scrub your accounts if you start getting that upswing.
Right.
Go back
because there was screenshots back in the day. You couldn't screenshot.
This is true.
Well, I guess that comes to the next point, as far as like looking at what's in somebody's heart and why they do things and things that happen to them. A lot of times when they talk about canceling, is it canceling or is it holding people accountable for these different things, these different actions that happen that flout societal norms. So
I think it depends on the person.
It depends on the person. Go ahead.
I'm going to say it depends on the person. Because if it's someone who is like openly perceived a certain way, and then all this comes up, it's like, okay, you need to say something about this because the person that you're portraying to us currently is a stark 180 to this. So we're going to hold you to this, and you need to respond to this. You can't just let this go. We're going to hold you accountable to this. You can't not respond to this. You can't just let this go. We need an explanation because the person you present right now, this is real different.
But does accountability always look? Does it just come in the form of an explanation, or can it come in the form of, we need you to go ahead and lose your job on this one, Rick, or we need you to pay up in some type of way with what you had going on.
I think we talked about this one time. If this person is in a position where they can, what they do or say affects others directly, then yes, that accountability looks very different.
You saw what happened when there was that situation at Chipotle, and that professor and his wife like pulled a gun on the black family.
What?
This was some months back, and
I don't even eat at Chipotle, so I didn't even see it.
Right.
This wasn't here.
Oh, okay.
This was just, I think it was, I don't remember where it was, but nonetheless,
okay, it wasn't here.
He was a professor, and they both basically lost their jobs because people recorded them. It was basically like, they sitting here like pulling a gun on us because we're black, blah, blah, blah. It was in like the height of the George Floyd and all that stuff was going on. Yeah, it was all kinds of people who kept getting fired from their jobs because they were getting recorded.
Pulled a gun out on a black Chipotle worker?
Not the worker. There was a family in Chipotle, and there was some altercation with someone. They say that the white lady ran into the black kid on purpose. Then they started mouthing off at them, and so she felt threatened, quote unquote. She went to her car and pulled her gun on them.
Oh, that's when they were in that van that was backing up. Yes.
I didn't know that was at a Chipotle. I thought that was a parking lot in general.
And I didn't know they were professors.
He was. I don't remember what she did. She may have been a professor as well, but I believe he was a professor, and he got fired because of the shit that they saw, whatever. So it was kind of like, damn, you got fired on your day off, but still, it's just that to me that is accountability because you can't really cancel someone. You can't cancel someone that's not a celebrity. Let's be very clear, because it doesn't make a fucking difference to you try to cancel me, that ain't gonna change nothing. I'm still gonna go to work. I'm still gonna be poor. Like no matter how much you want to cancel me, don't do shit to me. Now you want to hold me accountable and you sue me and therefore I have to pay you X amount of dollars. And now I'm super super poor. That's different.
New episodes still coming every Monday, bitch.
Nigga. Right. I'm about to be here every week talking y'all ear off. So today.
That's a very good point. So cancellations only occur to people of influence or power or
I like that
of the celebrity. So I guess I believe with everything that you're saying, but do you believe that if we're talking about accountability or cancellation, do we think that people sometimes weaponize the whole cancellation thing just because they don't even like the person? Like say for example LeBron James. They don't like, so they'll look for any little thing that they possibly can to cancel the hell out of that motherfucker.
There's nothing that you could there's nothing known to the masses. What he does behind closed doors is kept very, very much so in private. We don't know nothing. But there is nothing that LeBron James has done, said, or whatever that warrant him being canceled. Like it, but you're right.
Getting into a public spat with the president. There's a good segment that says, and I stopped supporting LeBron James a long time ago. If you want to stick in politics, you shut up and dribble. I stopped watching the game a long time ago.
I think when people say ignorant shit like that, for one, it makes me laugh because you mean to sit here and tell me that on one hand you say that everyone has the right to vote, so therefore everyone has the right to have some kind of political affiliation. But when someone wants to take a turn at speaking their political feelings, you tell them to shut up and dribble. Bitch, you don't get your stupid ass up out of here.
Stupid. Folks, as we forgot to tell you, or maybe you've known this, Najee is from up top, along with being of Caribbean descent. So.
Hell yeah.
You stupid ass dummy.
He gives you that sweet
my
spicy.
guy. Fuck out of here.
That was Italian, but I love it. Fuck out of here,
No, it's definitely abuse. Especially like this 2020 has been a great year for that kind of thing. Like people are trying if they can. And it's just like, come on, y'all. Like, and I think that goes back to The Rock's alleged statements because are you offended by this? Or are you affected? Like I can be offended by something that like either one. Like, let's say one of you. It doesn't even matter. Yeah. Say maybe you offend me. Okay, I can let you know that you offended me, and we're done with that.
Yeah.
Now, if what you said affected me a certain way, like it made me like, like it actually caused a problem in my life, like things were disrupted.
Yeah.
That's different.
Constant offense can lead to effect. So like in that situation that you're talking about, if someone continuously does something, that's going to affect you. So it can't just be you offended me, I'll let you know, we're going to keep it moving. It's like, nah, bitch, you keep offending me, and now you're starting to affect me. So now, shit got to stop.
That's how I feel with Kanye. Like constant offense of watching this motherfucking every ad.
He's very, and so I'm glad you brought him. He is very close for me. Because, and I think I talked about him a lot in the course of this podcast, but like, I love him a lot as an artist. He's probably my favorite rapper. Like, I will say that. And this whole last year or so of his life
has
like
the new Kanye. Rap-wise.
I'm going to say rapper Kanye. He's my favorite rapper.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because his rapping has kind of changed over the years, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, the most recent, whatever the last regular album that he put out.
Life of Pablo? Was that his last album?
No, that shit's good. Whatever
was
happened
great.
after
well,
that.
this is whatever this. He just put out the gospel one.
Well, no, that's different because he's not rapping on that, so that's separate. So Kanye the rapper, Kanye the person who rhymes things in a 16-bar cadence. Okay. That guy, I really truly enjoy what he does as an artist, and I've followed him from when nobody knew who he was until now. So I don't like where things are going. And because so many people are watching him and are interested in what he has to say or listen when he talks, it bothers me. And I'm getting to a point where I feel like I need to make a decision even as a listener. And yeah, it has nothing to do with me overall, but I don't feel right. Because the same Kanye that used to rap about what was going on in the world and how we need to do this and do that, the white man this, white man that, pro-black, and now this is what you're doing, and you're talking so much shit about your own people who've been there for you, who've helped you, who've pushed you, that bothers me. And I feel like I have to make a decision about that. So it's like, and holding Kanye accountable is not working. It's something like holding Donald Trump accountable. It's not working. He doesn't give a fuck. He's not changing. So it's looking like a cancel.
Well, it's hard to hold Kanye accountable because just like there's an argument for canceling him, there's like 3 or 4 other people that's looking at that and saying Kanye's a genius for what he's saying right now. Kanye can be legitimately saying all black people need to go jump off the roof and kill themselves, and somebody be like, he's deep. He's deep. Like, that man is actually spitting. Did y'all hear him on that podcast? He is spitting something.
Like Chance the Rapper?
Well, yes. Oh God, Chance. My respectometer for Chance went down by 0.0001 after that, so I'm at 99.99999% respect for him. So I don't know. Like, that's
what was that? Where did that come from?
That came from us talking about people weaponizing hatred for someone or doing whatever or trying to create a cancel culture. I think a good example of that is how they troll the hell out of Cardi B. They legitimately want to cancel Cardi so bad
for her nipples.
Not for her nipples, just for everything
that she is. There are people out there who don't want her to be great. What is your problem?
They don't want Cardi B to exist. Like, they are literally trying to cancel her out into existence. If they had that fucking gauntlet, she would be gone at this point.
So that's different. But that's just people who are haters in general, and that is the people who live in the comments, and it's different when you. Like she's garnered up so much popularity. Like back when WAP came out a couple months ago, like that was a couple weeks of our lives. Like, it's all you heard about. And it's like, really, like, y'all are still on this. She's an artist. She's an artist, just like whoever the fuck was 30 years ago that wrote something nasty. Like, this isn't what you use against her.
I saw someone post something today, and they said, I'm over 30. I don't got that WAP. I got that Uchi Wally Wally, Uchi Bang Bang. And I was like, truthfully, that song makes WAP sound real, real basic. Because Uchi Wally Wally, first off, was my shit in 7th grade. It was the shit. But I never heard the real version until college. So I used to be like, he really, really touched my body. And it's like, nah, nigga, that's not what she's saying.
It's something about back then, wordplay making it more nasty when you found out later on what they were actually talking about.
Peaches and cream.
Because just being right on the nose with it, you know, touch that little thing in the back of my throat. Like, you could be like, oh my God, that's so graphic. But then you start thinking about the songs that you actually like and how they could get you to be walking around the house, singing something. You be like, ooh, blushes.
Corn on the cob.
Yes.
Between the sheets. Although, I love to touch the dangly thing in the back of that girl's throat. That is a very nice activity to do. So let's not be upset with Cardi B for telling the world about things that are pleasurable. We enjoy that.
Absolutely not. Do not get upset with her.
Meg said, "What? Touch me, swallow me, drip down the side." Like she went off, and it's like, yes, Meg. Yes,
which I'm surprised about because a lot of people that was giving her flack or was like black men that were like trying to like, I wouldn't raise my daughters like that.
Those are all black men who are trying to make sure their wives don't realize that they're fucking bitches.
Is that what it is?
That's what they're like. No, I would never. Call me.
So they have to get on social media to do that.
They don't have to, but
like that's the part I don't understand.
Like I think that sometimes black men having daughters can change them. And so I think, or at least it can change what they're trying to put out in the atmosphere. It may not change their hearts. They may still be niggas at the inside, but it's like, I just can't be out here supporting this because I don't want my daughter to do this. And it's like, I guess I kind of understand like the
you don't got to say shit. What you can do is keep it right on moving and let the rest of us enjoy it.
Yeah, and listen to that shit.
Your daughter,
repeat.
Make sure you have your daughter's passwords to the iPad. She has no business having because she's too young anyway.
Wow.
And go on from there.
Like you in a full-blown Twitter fight with a young lady online about why WAP is offensive to your household and your young daughter. You know how Cardi and Megan need to carry themselves with better class than that. Meanwhile, you have that OnlyFans account that you are like paying $5 a month for.
And you ask for special messages. Can you do this to WAP?
Right.
Can you squirt the WAP?
For $99? I got it. I just got my email tags. So
people will demonize the things that they don't like about themselves. The things that's historic. Wow. People will always try to get rid of things that bring to light their own shit in one way or the other.
Because they can't touch the dangling thing in the back of no girl's throat. And because of that, they upset. So they like, listen here, nah, this is offensive. No, nigga, your dick's small. Like, that's just not, you can't, don't be mad at them.
Your daughter didn't come from WAP, apparently. She
didn't.
She scraped her elbows out, sliding out of something.
Oh my gosh.
Out of a tunnel.
Oh my gosh.
Your daughter came back and said, just put me out.
Please. Let me get the C-section. Please let me get the C-section.
You guys are ridiculous. That's insane. It's so wrong.
If I pop the placenta, I might be able to slide out of here safely.
Even her placenta dry. That's when you know the bitch ain't got nothing. And I call her a bitch because I don't know her name. All right, that's all it is.
All right, so look, we're gonna do like a speed round with some people that have. I hope did y'all look at this list and actually look up some of the ones?
I mean, I looked up the ones that I didn't know.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're doing this on speed round. So, what I did in my research,
except for Doja Cat, I didn't look up Doja Cat.
Okay. What I did in my research, I noticed that people will try and cancel these celebrities based either off of statements that they've made or actions that they perform. So,
like oral.
Some of that may be oral on here. Let's see. I don't think I have. No.
You don't have the dude from House of Cards on here, right?
No.
Okay.
I don't have anything on there from House of Cards. You talking about Kevin Spacey?
Yeah.
No. Although that probably was the biggest cancellation that turned out not to be true. But let's start off.
It wasn't true?
The person came back and recanted and said it wasn't true.
After all that, we didn't get our real season finale House of Cards with that bullshit.
He said it wasn't true, but Kevin Spacey did a whole bunch of talking. He was like, he outed himself. He was like, yeah, I have had adventures or whatever with some men. And he was like doing a whole bunch of talking. He was answering a lot of questions that people didn't have any questions to or need answers for. So that's why he's out at Netflix. So, speaking of Doja Cat, so you didn't look up anything about Doja?
No. But okay. I mean, what I read here seems pretty straightforward.
This was so Doja Cat's been around for probably about 8 years.
Really?
Yes, but her music was different.
Popping. She was very, very weird.
She was more
on a Gaga type tip.
No, not even that. She was very.
She was dressed. Have you not seen her video where she's dressed up as a damn cow?
Okay, there's that. No, that was before the other stuff. So I will play you some original Doja Cat, and you probably will like it.
I don't want to hear it.
Okay, that's fine.
Cancel it.
Original Doja Cat is not the person that we see now. So then that I'm a Cow thing, that was after she first came out. So I have some of those older songs, I'm a Cow shit, and then she transferred into who she is now. The chat room stuff, that was that in between the I'm a Cow and now, right?
I think so, yeah.
Hey, Doja Cat, is she like white, black, mixed?
I think she's like biracial.
She's one of those.
She's the one from Say So. Yes. You know who she is, though, right?
I've heard of her.
It's her and Nicki Minaj got that song out called Say So.
Why don't you say so?
Well, is she like black? I'm gonna look her up.
Okay. Yeah, she's like biracial.
Non-determinate of some sort. Yeah.
Looks like.
Racially ambiguous.
Racially ambiguous, yes.
But do you know the story about this whole?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I don't care enough to.
But what's the story?
Well, I know. You said, "Do I know the story?"
For the listeners, what's the story?
Oh, I don't have those details for you.
Okay.
I know that she was in chat rooms, in racist ones, like talking about.
Yes, she was in chat rooms. She was in like little live chat rooms with Nazis and racist people, and in there they were in there making like racist jokes about black people. But she also has a song out. I forgot what the name of the song is, but it pretty much was like, it was like nothing, doing nothing, not doing nothing. It was basically a play on black people. Whenever they get killed, they always say, "I didn't do nothing."
Oh,
didn't do nothing. That's the name of the song. Didn't do nothing. And she was making a joke.
Her mother is Jewish American. Her father is South African.
Okay.
So basically, she's an apartheid baby.
Right.
Ooh.
So basically, people were trying to cancel her for not only because she was hanging out in racist chat rooms, just laughing, joking. She dates like a white boyfriend or whatever, and her in there participating in these racist talks about black folks, but also the style of music that she was putting out, where she was talking about black people. Didn't do nothing. That's the name of the song. Didn't do nothing. What happens when a black person gets in trouble? They didn't do nothing.
At this point, the Doja Cat that is presenting herself musically is not fun for me. So
cancel it.
I guess sure. Like I said, the stuff that I remember from back in the day, a few years ago, I liked that stuff. Her stuff now, I'm like, that's the same person.
So you're not worried about the racist stuff. You just worried about the music. Just ain't good for me.
Yes, because I think we've said, like, I put artists in certain areas, and she's I don't care enough about her to do anything different.
Didn't do nothing. Gotcha.
I don't listen to her. I'm not like, oh my God, girl, Doja Cat. Now if Beyonce says so, she's like, okay, now we got a problem. But like Doja Cat, I don't give a fuck about Doja Cat.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Doja, I think at this point knows that you're not listening to her music because she's very stressed. Doja came out recently on like a live, and she was just talking about how people were getting her comments, just straight blowing her out. And like legitimately, her hairline went straight to the back of her head. Like her edges were like gone.
Like Tasha from Power?
I didn't finish up Power, so I don't know.
They were saying that what award show was it? MTV, the VMAs. They were saying that her hair was doing something weird.
It was gone.
Like it was just like it was not growing properly. Like, is that a wig? Does she have like a strange wig on? Like, no, that's her hairline. Boo, it's gone.
It looked like she had been like up praying all night. Like, Lord, take this cup from me. And he was like, I'm taking a lot more than the cup. If I take that cup, I'm taking some other shit.
That's funny.
What about Dave Chappelle? And the jokes he made about Asian Americans, and
his wife's Asian,
and
his wife is Asian.
His wife is Asian, and yes, it was just like that. Sorry.
Ooh, yeah.
So Najee is showing us a picture of old girl. What's her name? Tasha from Power, and Goro from Mortal Kombat, saying that's Doja Cat's hairline. Yes, with the top knot, and everything else is gone.
Dave Chappelle, the Asian stuff was weird. Because his wife, but then I was like, well, his wife's Asian. Yeah. Anyway, but then some he does make me cringe a little bit though. Dave Chappelle is not aging well with his comedy. I will say that. I think we talked about this already. When he released those two specials back to back, the first one was funny, then the second one is like, ooh, Dave, what's happening here? So for me, his comedy for me is not aging well. Like his little opening monologue from SNL the other night, I had high hopes for it because we had just had this major thing happen. And Donald Trump's been acting crazy, so I expected big things from him. And I sat through that monologue, and it was longer than most monologues that they do. And I was like, Dave. And that's from somebody who, Chappelle's show, those got me through freshman year. Like, I love Chappelle's show.
And Dave Chappelle's stand-up, post-Africa's Dave Chappelle stand-up is different than Chappelle's show. Like, it's hard to compare those two because his comedy He's always been a storyteller with his comedy. He's always tackled some kind of political things with his comedy. But his comedy now is much more just, I want to tell you the shit that's actually happening. And it's going to be funny because the shit's actually real. And I think that he's just in a different stage of his life. And I love it. I just love Dave Chappelle.
I'm on the same side as Nicole a little bit, just for the simple fact of, and maybe after I saw the SNL monologue, I got a new appreciation. I didn't understand that Dave Chappelle from the Netflix specials, and yes, I do know that he is a storyteller, but I think he's also trying to teach a lesson along with that storytelling. Like there's a point to it, so it's almost like you getting that stern talking to from your mom, but you're trying like not to smile a little bit. And you know this is a serious moment, but you're trying not to smile a little bit. That's how I feel like whenever he's saying whatever he's saying. Because what I was getting a lot of was like cringy moments. Not like necessarily saying that he can't say it, but it was just like, I don't, where did that come from? Rape. But I can respect what he got going on. I don't know if he necessarily needs to be canceled. I was very shocked when Asian comedians were coming out saying you need to, you know, that was very offensive. You should know better. Dave Chappelle clearly is outdated or whatever and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like,
haters. Fucking
what?
haters.
I can give him that it didn't age well, but again, that we said this earlier, the comedic realm has to be given its graces because that's what it's for. So just don't listen to Dave Chappelle if you don't like it. I'm sure Asians everyone makes fun of everybody in their comedy. That's a real thing. There are plenty of comedians out there that I'm sure say some things about black people that I would not like, and you know what? I'm not listening to them. So that's how we combat that.
But if it's funny, I will laugh.
It's unfortunate. Like, do y'all remember what he said about the LGBTs Qs in the car ride?
That's in the first special.
I don't remember which special it was. I know it was in one of the first two.
I think it was
On
in the first
Netflix?
special.
Yeah. Did you remember that part?
Where he's talking about how the trans people are not respected.
Yes.
I thought that whole bit was hilarious, personally, and to this day, I still think it's hilarious.
Well, no, that first stand up, I was like, there were some moments I was like, oh shit, Dave, but I was like, that's funny. And then for me after that, I was like, oh, okay, maybe not so much, but that first one, yes, I did enjoy. When he put those two out, the first one I liked.
But my point was that right there could have been extremely offensive to someone who does not have on the lens of comedy. If you have on the lens of I am being oppressed in every way I turn around and I have no escape from it, then yeah, it's going to offend you. And as the person who's
not the person I have no escape.
You should probably say at the comedy zone.
Damn, I can't get away from my oppression.
Because I mean, a lot of times that's how it feels to be black. Sometimes you feel like you just can't. Oppression is everywhere, and it's systemically built into the day to day. But you probably shouldn't go to the comedy zone where someone who is notorious for making these jokes, or you have to understand that like he's not picking at you as a person. Like he's not trying to like belittle your oppression or anything like that. He's making light of the situation because of the way that the world just works. But I also feel like that shit was hilarious. And if he wanted to talk about big fat black niggas, I would be like, damn, Dave, but that shit was funny.
That's true. And everybody's style of comedy is not for everybody.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure a Martin Lawrence saying that same kind of joke, he would have tailored it a different way, but it'd been the same. It'd have been the same point.
Raw. It would have been really, really raw.
It'd have been the same point. Or if Amy Schumer had said something along those lines, but it'd have been a different tailor. It's like, what can you digest and what can you receive when you go to these comedy shows? Speaking of can you receive, Ellen DeGeneres, and them wanting to cancel her just with the treatment. It seemed like when COVID hit, people were like, cool, I'm at home.
Yes.
Let me think about my last 19 seasons and put this out.
Who fucking
They
shit up?
said she is a terrible person. And I was like, Ellen? Dory?
Well, didn't they say it was more or less that it was her also, but then also things that were going on that she
Like
wasn't saying anything about
and stuff. Like
And that's the part that bothered me because the person that we see, Ellen DeGeneres, she's this wacky, goofy, super nice person. I watch clips of the things that I see on the internet that people say are funny. I don't actually actively watch her show. So I guess that for me, like canceling her, I was like, I mean, if this is really happening and she's doing so much for people, but the way they were coming out and saying it was kind of hard to be like, oh, I guess I'm gonna just keep watching all these things because that shit was really terrible.
Well, and it happened at a time where everybody was at home and couldn't go nowhere. So now, why not put all this stuff out there so we can focus in on it? And it just kept coming out one after another. Oh yeah, and by the way, black people were treated terrible on the set, or she made Mariah reveal she was pregnant and then she got an abortion. Like it was, not an abortion, she lost the baby or something like that. There's a whole bunch of stories just coming out and they were like fucking canceled.
That's one of those. That's one of the things that might need to be accountability. Because like when you see Ellen, you think that she's this person you can just like chill on your couch with and like joke around with, but then you find out that if you turn your back, she might let somebody mistreat you. She won't say anything. She's gonna fuck her money up. Like, just keep dancing. She see you getting fucking beat down, and she's just gonna walk away. Get the car. Pull the car around. So that's like you need to be a little more aware of what's happening in your organization.
I would like to hear the other side of that because you don't
from Ellen.
Yeah. Or just from the camp that's being accused of these things. Not to say that people's experiences were not actually how they perceived it, but I think it would be nice to know the other side of it because now two things here. One is that when you see these celebrities who have either PR training or they're actors and actresses, like they know how to like turn things on and turn things off. So to see a jovial nature of someone and then be like, I can't believe she'll be anything else. That means that you bought on to what they were selling you, and they're just good at their craft. So it's kind of like, I don't know if I could ever date someone who's like, I'm an actor, and be like, damn, I don't know if I can trust you. Do you really like me? Like, I mean, yeah, it's just a bit. Like, what the fuck is going on? So I would like to hear what Ellen has to say from. There was a number two.
She apologized for all
she
of that.
did that shit.
I'll tell you what she's not good at doing. Is that stand-up anymore. Now, you talk about the stand-up not aging well. Her stand-up on Netflix was...
And I had high hopes for it.
It was more so like, okay, I'm not going to leave. I'm going to see this all the way through
I watched
to the end.
Entire thing.
So you can get that stream. And but no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike her stand-up that much. I didn't dislike it at all. But I also think that I like older school comedians and things of that nature. If you haven't figured out,
she sounded like a 60-year-old white lady.
She is a 60-year-old white lady.
I know, but like normally she does not appear that way. In that stand-up, she appeared like a 60-year-old white lady, and I was like, oh no, this isn't what I want.
Like a 60-year-old white lady who was doing stand-up for the first time.
Yes. Like your grandma, like your grandma that you think is funny. 90s. That's who she was. Like your grandma who dresses cool and you think she's funny. So it's like, girl, you should do stand-up.
Because that is a comedy zone.
She goes down to the comedy zone. You're like, grandma, no.
And she bombs.
Meanwhile, you probably be over there cackling.
I wanted so badly to like it because I think she's funny. Like, but that's what Kevin Hart's like that for me now. His stand up used to be really funny.
I don't like his stand up anymore.
But I don't like it anymore. He needs to be scripted now. He has to be scripted now for me to enjoy him. So
no, he plays the same person, and even though he's himself, he's legitimately driving home. This is my comedy style. Speaking of driving home, Tory Lanez
canceled.
He gotta go.
Canceled.
That car with Megan Thee Stallion.
He is a disrespectful son of a bitch. Canceled.
But you know what? This again goes to the whole thing with, and I don't know what it is. Like a whole bunch of black men getting in these comments and being like, "Well, we still don't know who shot Meg."
Niggas were terrible.
She told y'all who shot her,
and until we find out who actually did it, I think we just started to rush to judgment. Like
niggas were awful with that whole thing, and we never talked about it. And I'm not gonna have a moment, but we never. That shit was awful. No, because it's just it's old and dumb. Like that should cancel him. That shit was awful. And the niggas that were in the comments saying all that bullshit, canceled them too. Like, nigga, are you serious? Your black mama, your black sister, your black auntie, she say she got shot by this goofy ass nigga. You gonna say she lying?
Well, technically it's not over there in court now, going through that. So it's a good chance that Tory may get deported if anything comes up. His
goofy ass shot her because he didn't get what he wanted from her.
He's gonna get deported and have a better situation when he gets to Canada.
Well, they can have him. We'll trade. I put my list out there on the Instagram of the people that we will take from Canada instead of him. There's like 13 people on it.
All I know is that he shot that woman. And that's a problem. Even if he didn't shoot her and he pulled a gun on her, that's a problem.
That's a problem.
Yes.
That's an absolute problem.
Goofy ass troll ass nigga. Get the fuck out of here.
I don't know.
He's also 4'3". He's a leprechaun.
Leprechaun.
He's very tiny. He was actually on the upswing from this pandemic.
The quarantine radio was so fucking entertaining.
Yes, that's what made it suck. It's like, why would you do this? You had a good thing going. Like, I don't have any problems with Tory Lanez.
Quarantine.
Chick Take 5 was pretty solid, but like, bro, we done with you now.
Didn't listen to any of his music. I just watched quarantine radio and listened to him.
Night, my nigga. Night.
I'm very sporadic on listening to his music. I imagine it's going to be a while before we get some new music out of him. But some other stuff we can get from out of someone else, Scarlett Johansson. And her whole controversy.
Pretty ass.
Should actors?
Didn't she just marry that nigga from Saturday Night Live? From the new set?
Yes. Chris Jocelyn, I think his name.
I don't know these niggas' names.
Yes. Anyway, Scarlett Johansson came out a couple years ago with comments that she said because she's an actress, she should be allowed to play other people with different races or disabilities because she's an actress. And, she should be able to take those roles. And they tried to cancel her for saying that.
Canceled? No, but we just not going to give her those roles even when she tries out. Like, that's our way of like subtly like, we're not gonna do that. You're not black. You're not. There are plenty of disabled actors out there. There's deaf people out there. There are people with Down syndrome. There's all types of people out there. Exactly. So we don't need you to play them. There are plenty of roles that you can play. It doesn't have to be those.
She could play Helen Keller.
We're not gonna do that.
Helen Keller was white, so yes, she could play.
I was like the other people. I think I specifically remember that being offended when it came to playing other races. Because that's been a thing throughout Hollywood. White women wanting to play black characters. And it's like, no, you don't get to do that. We have plenty of us that can do that. You don't have to do that.
So I think that what she said is not necessarily wrong, but the context behind the way that the industry is orchestrated is what makes that problematic. Because she's making these statements as if everyone has an equal opportunity to play any part that comes out there, and that's not the case.
That's not.
The fact of the matter is, if you're white, you can be the lead actor in an Egyptian movie if you're white. There can be an all-white cast in an Egyptian movie, but you would not have an all-black cast playing unless you're in Hamilton. Hamilton was probably which was what was so interesting about the play. I know you didn't watch it, but the fact that all of the people that they were portraying in Hamilton were white, and there were like very, very few white people that were in the actual cast. That's not normal. Like, that was literally like very jarring for a lot of people. But Scarlett Johansson, imagine her playing like Madam C.J. Walker in that Netflix special. Could you imagine her straightening somebody's hair?
or as they that rumor came out years ago, Julia Roberts playing Harriet Tubman.
Bro, niggas was heated.
We love us some Julia. That was like, Julia, no, you didn't.
And I don't think she knew about it. I think the manager was trying to put her name in the hat for that shit.
Due to the fact of how they puppeteer these things, and there's not a fair chance for all people and all races. Therefore, it's like, come on, yo, listen here, bitch. Let's be real. That's not real. Like, let the people of their particular, like, don't have a Mulan with a white woman playing Mulan. I don't want that shit. There's a lot of great Asian actresses that can play Mulan. Like, stop. Get the fuck out of here.
I don't think she needed to be canceled either, and she's not canceled. But
I think
that was a good teachable moment for her.
So I think in these moments, I like the portion of cancel where you are shaming someone. But you're not canceling them to say, no, you're never coming back. Say, no.
Like, girl, now you know.
Teach them that it doesn't make no fucking sense because what you're saying is absolute ludicrous.
Right.
And if you then turn your ways or amend your ways, whatever it is I'm trying to say.
Or back into the shadows.
Exactly. Ooh, shit. Ooh, let me go back up here to Mordor and jump in this volcano. Like, similar shit like that. Then all right, you cool. We can work with you. But you gonna get drugged on the internets for a little while.
So do you think that Lil Wayne should have been shamed for meeting with Donald Trump?
For endorsing Donald Trump?
Meeting and endorsing him.
We had been lost faith in Lil Wayne, have we not?
And saying, that platinum plan, that's it.
So I don't know much about the platinum plan because I didn't put any stock into it. Because my whole thing was like, you're going to lose. And I needed to keep the energy high.
Okay.
So I didn't look at nothing with the platinum plan. But endorsing Donald J. Trump just it don't sit well with me. It just doesn't, because he is just a shitty human being, or at least he has shitty parts that are important to me to not be shitty from someone that's running my country.
So what if he didn't endorse him? What if he just met with him?
I can deal with you meetings with somebody. Same as you said, what's his name? from CNN
or Ice Cube, whatever. During the thing, if we know the context in which these things are occurring, that is one thing that I can decide for myself. But for you to go on your damn Instagram and you don't do a whole lot on the social media, and for when you do, this is what you say. Get the fuck out of here, Dwayne Carter.
It was a little bit jarring. If you saw that picture, he had on like this oversized shirt. Like he was in like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and he was slowly
it's like
shrinking.
You have to get dressed up for like a church program, but you don't have no dress clothes.
Like
back in the day,
He had to get his dad's clothes, like that large overgrown cardigan that he was wearing. You got these nasty dreads. So
is that truck for y'all still wearing that?
So you were calling yourself representing the black community by going up there to meet him. And
you could even put on a suit.
And you were looking crazy as fuck.
Fucking crazy.
Going on there. I'm like, he's back on that lean. He is back on that fucking lean.
Him and Tariq.
So... All right, so he
I've already
shamed
I've
or
already
canceled?
expected shamed as hell because we've already expected that he's not going to give us anything that we want from him anymore. So I'd forgotten about him until I saw him on that tweet and I was like, oh shit.
Do you shame from the time of the offense forward, or do you shame in retro?
I think we shamed in retro because he had already made comments and it just all made sense. Where he was talking about the whole police situation.
He did.
And he was saying how, he didn't, I don't know if he didn't believe in racism or what, but he was just like, I don't see all that, police officer saved my life. And that might be his truth, that a police officer did save his life. There's not saying that police officers don't do anything good. I believe he is a celebrity. He gets security and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But can two things not be the truth?
Two things can be true at the same time.
This police officer saved your life, but there was also this young man, these people that are getting gunned down by those very same people that saved your life. So once he came out with Trump, that's when I think it connected back. And it brought it back to the front.
But do you then cancel at the point of the offense? Do we cancel a Millie? Do we cancel Cash Money Records taking off for the 99 and the 2000? Because he's on that too. Like how, and that is one of my key things, which is why with R. Kelly, I was okay with canceling him completely because he was literally doing this shit from the beginning.
Yes.
Versus like, Kanye didn't start doing some crazy shit here recently. Like recently within the last few years.
I would cancel Lil Wayne currently, and moving forward, I will proceed with caution.
Yeah, I think he's on the outside looking in for me. Like when your teacher puts you out and you got the windows on your doors, and you can see him still like.
That's where I'm at with Kanye right now. Like I'm watching I'm all the way over here.
We've called Kanye's dad to come pick him up at this point.
Got him in the office.
We in the teachers' lounge cracking up. Somebody, that nigga ain't never coming back to the school. Not at the principal.
Walk your crazy ass out of here, Kanye.
What about the CPI CEO?
He gotta go.
Goodbye, my nigga.
He got to fucking go.
For the people in Power World who do not know, after the George Floyd murders,
gosh,
someone tried to reach out to him through email, just saying what his stance was on race and whatnot, and he responded with, black people out here killing themselves, and we need to be talking more about black on black crime instead of race relations and whatnot and police brutality.
In a corporate email.
Did you see how fast they pulled like Luke Kuechly out of there? Like they lost those endorsements like a motherfucker.
Yeah, the Black Panthers, the Carolina Panthers. Not to be confused with the Black Panthers. Got up out of there.
We are not with that shit. Goodbye.
I mean, that's the same thing like what happened with the CrossFit CEO, and what he had going on with comparing COVID-19 and George Floyd's death. They got him up out. Well, actually, he stepped down. He gone ahead and got him up out of there. Did the CBS CEO? He didn't step down.
I don't think so.
I don't think he did. I think they called for it. I don't think he did. We'd have to do some research on that.
No, he's still doing security.
CPI security. Identify yourself.
What about this one's a little bit more serious? What about Jay-Z and the whole kneeling NFL relations thing, where he was saying, "Hey, the time for kneeling is over." And we're gonna make it do what it do with the NFL, and we're gonna go forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
I think I don't have an issue with what he did.
Please rephrase.
I don't have an issue with what he did because my whole thing is so his wording may have been a little bit off. and to say the time for kneeling is over, because that insinuates that
things
everything
are done
that exactly
about.
that yes. was the purpose of kneeling is no longer there, which is not the case. I think what he was saying is, let's take this fight to a different frontier, because now I can have a seat at the table to try and like push this agenda way more than we could when we were on the outside, just trying to get them to let us in.
Do y'all think that the agenda was actually pushed, what he was trying to do?
You have seen some changes in the NFL. I don't believe them, but you have seen some changes. Roger Goodell is still a bitch, but you have seen some things that have kind of been like, okay, they're trying to be a little bit more inclusive. It just still feels like someone wearing a KKK hood, and they're just like, yeah, these nice people here.
It still seems to me. It still seems like, or at a minimum, it feels like equal access to both sides of the argument still. Like, I think what we were saying before in the Super Bowl episode last season, it was the NFL not really picking a side. Like, they're just like trying to straddle the fence. So even when we looked at those Super Bowl commercials, yes, we're talking about marching in the streets and we need to be bringing light to racial issues. But then you turn back on the other side and they got people in there talking about, I love the police and our law enforcement need to be protected. Like, they were trying to show both arguments.
They were on the fence the whole time. But he's also not a majority in the NFL. So he can do what he can from his standpoint, but like, he's not going to be able to just change the whole NFL by himself overnight. No.
I shared Najee's feelings on what I thought about Jay-Z's statement. I share that sentiment. I do wish, as far as what we can see, I love how the NBA has handled this time. They've done an excellent job handling this foolishness. And as someone who preferred, like, I like football a lot. So I'm looking, when I watch football, to see something similar to what I've seen the NBA do. And so far, I'm not getting that.
You won't.
And I know that I won't. So that, in respect to whatever Jay-Z's done, I know they didn't give him, I know that might be a different level of access. But when you're saying you want to be the change and kind of infiltrate, it looks like you need to be infiltrating in a different way, my friend. Because the NBA has found a way, and it's full with niggas too, just like the NFL is, and they found a way to let these men have a voice, let them do their thing in a way that is safe, in a way that is outright, and you can see it everywhere, but the NFL is not doing the same thing.
Let me tell you the difference between the NFL and the NBA real quick. The difference is the moneymaker in the NFL is a white man. The vast majority of quarterbacks, which is like the quintessential thing that has historically always been running through football, is a white man. He is the center of everything. The center of the NBA are black people, just black men, all black women with the WNBA. Like, there's not, name me one, let's say two, very, very current, notable white basketball player.
Oh, you know that I cannot. Basketball, that's your thing, boo. Kevin played in Cleveland.
Kevin Love. Trash.
Okay. That's the only one I can think of.
A lot of the ones that I'm thinking about have gone on. And
Larry Bird. Maybe White Chocolate.
What's the old buddy that was with the Spurs? What was his name? He was from like Canada or something. What was his name?
Oh, yes. Old ass.
He played for a while.
Rick Barry?
Get my NBA jams. I can't think of it.
No.
You're talking about Dirk.
No. I forgot what his name.
He's European.
He was very short, and he used to have his little blonde hair. Was he with the Spurs?
No, we played for the Jazz.
No,
talking about Stockton.
No, I had to look him up, but he was short. He's not short by any means, but he was shorter than the other players, and he was he was a point guard.
I know exactly who you're talking about, and as soon as it's over, we're going to get to the bottom of it.
I think he retired here recently.
He played for a long time.
He did play for a long time.
He played for ages.
And he was white?
He was either on it was the Spurs, the Jazz. It was one of those random teams that you don't talk about all the time. It was something.
But he was well known.
Yes.
Either way.
I really want to know who you're talking about. But my point is, there is a different pull. If all the black players in the NFL decided that they were going to strike, also the deals aren't guaranteed in the NFL because it's just different. If all the black people wanted to strike from the NFL, there would be a big drop off, but they could still play. If the black people took a strike from the NBA, you literally could not have games.
Which is what they were doing, right?
Yeah, that's what they were dealing with, yeah.
I guess my only thing with the whole Jay-Z thing is, and I can get what you said, it was inartfully worded when you say that the time for kneeling is over. But it legitimately felt like it wasn't just the time for kneeling was over, it was the time for recognizing the person that brought attention to all this was over. Like, and, you know, people say, well, we don't know those conversations were had about, you know, Colin Kaepernick being at the table and being able to see something. Said. And he came out and said he said nothing. And then you fast forward to now and you have Roger Goodell or different owners saying we should have listened to Colin Kaepernick. He was correct. He was right in what he was doing and all this kind of stuff. So it's like I never liked that time for kneeling is over. I didn't like that. It was just like, I'm not even going to say anything about what this dude got going on or where he is. We just moving forward. And wherever he lands, tell him we said we good luck. He didn't say it in those terms, but that's kind of like what it is. And it's like now you fast forward to today, it's like, I was on the fence about canceling you or standing with you, but I'm still even more confused.
But I think the whole Colin Kaepernick thing was very separate from Jay-Z. I don't think that's the same. Now, Colin Kaepernick was the one who brought the attention to the kneeling, yes. But that doesn't, and I think that when he said a time for kneeling is over, it then made it seem as though he was like dismissing Colin Kaepernick and everything that he did. But I just don't feel like that's what he was actually doing, just based off of like, because Jay-Z is just as much of a nigga as anybody else. Like, I don't care how much money he got or all the different accolades and whatnot, or the wife and the family. Like, he's still a nigga.
I guess visually it didn't look good to me because it was like we're coming up with these actions and plans, and like I said, it may not have came out that way, but it's like, oh, we're doing this large press conference. We got people all out here looking at this thing. You know, we got the crowd. We're talking about what we're going to be doing, what's happening next. We're going to be putting more money into these social programs. We're going to be, you know, we're going to have a hand in what the music looks like. Like, we would just be more involved so we can get our policies or our stuff out there. And it was just like, but wait a minute. This young man was just being ostracized for the issues and programs that you said that you want to help be a part of a change and bring more awareness. Where is he at? Does he ever say in any of that? I don't think he has any need to be at the table because he wasn't invited. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to these particular places or whatever, like, you got to be allowed to be in the room. And he wasn't allowed to be in the room for the wrong reasons, but he wasn't. So if you're going to have an NFL to be having a full-on press conference or whatever, they're not going to invite Colin Kaepernick there. Not when they're still going through the legal battles of, like, him suing these motherfuckers. So, like, I think that them not talking about Colin Kaepernick was probably intentional, because I don't think the lawsuit was finished at that point whenever he made his statement, right? Right. I think they hadn't settled or anything.
And so I'm pretty sure the NFL was like, yo, you can't say nothing about Colin because we got some ongoing litigation happening, blah, 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 blah. Because I'm sure that's how a lot of times how it works, where you don't want to mention someone that you're in legal.
So you don't see anything grimy about the fact that they are involved in this litigation, like you were saying. And I'm saying you don't see anything grimy, but you don't think that there was a double motive there to where we could say, hey, we can bring in Jay-Z. And I'm not saying that Jay-Z was played or anything, but we'll trot him out here, show him off, whatever. We're moving in a different direction. Hey, we're working on these issues and yada yada. Mm-hmm. But the person who was bringing awareness to it, now he's currently in litigation with you because you ostracized him, prevented him from playing, whatever his reasoning and his logic is. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, oh, but no, we are doing something about it. And the person that brought up what was happening, we don't necessarily need his ideas. Who cares about that?
I think let's get Jay-Z. When you're right, you don't need recognition. And I think that Colin Kaepernick needs no recognition for how right he actually is, because he's gotten his recognition, because everyone knows what he did made all the sense. When he got that settlement, he knew exactly what it was, because they can't fight him on it because they know they did something wrong. So they settled with him because they know that they were in the wrong.
Even if he wanted to be at the table?
He may have wanted to be at the table, but they don't have to let him in because it's a private company. Like, if it was some like public domain and they were like ostracizing him and he couldn't get on, like, or we're going to deport you or something like that, like, that's different. But
well, I mean, of course they're a private company, but I'm just talking about from the optics of yes, things can go this way because you can have the rules that say it goes this way. Mm-hmm. But if you have an employee or someone there who is raising concerns, you don't want to hear what they have to say to possibly make it better. Instead, you bring in a complete outside factor that has nothing to do with the league or the sports at all.
That's PR. That's all.
That's
literally all
PR.
just PR.
Okay.
Because they didn't want. Because if you would have brought Colin Kaepernick in, you would have opened.
You'd have admitted you were wrong.
Exactly.
You would have admitted you were wrong.
And you also saw what happened when they gave him a tryout, and he was like, "I'm not gonna try it over there." And he started to like, "Okay, y'all want to play games? I know how to play games too." And like, because that's really what it was all about. Because at this point, you're trying to like muffle me or give me some like handouts. I don't need your fucking handouts. Like, he was an elite quarterback in the NFL. He went to the Super Bowl. Like, he should have won that Super Bowl #1. But like he was really good. He deserved a job for a long time. Now, his skills have diminished over time in comparison to the people that would have been playing ahead of him. He still could have been like a third or second string quarterback, in my personal opinion, but that's something different. But they wanted to change the direction to try to like recreate the narrative because they knew they was about to pay this motherfucker over here in court, which is basically an admittance of guilt over there. But they didn't want to do that, so they said, okay, let's get the favorite nigger, who is Jay-Z. Sean Carter. Yes, bring him in.
Well, what about on the flip side with Nike supporting Colin Kaepernick and everybody calling for Nike? Well, not everybody. Those different ones who were like, he disrespects the flag. Well, I don't know if they're Trump supporters or not. Just people in general.
They are
who said he disrespects the flag. And I'm no longer buying Nike stuff, and they're burning their stuff.
Meanwhile, the Nikes that they wore were like $10 at Ross.
Right. You bought the rack room Nikes.
The Nikes that Nike wants you to buy are the Jordans, the LeBrons, the KDs, the ones that your white kids are buying, and the rest of these the niggas everybody's buying. That's what they care about. Fuck you, dumbass lawnmower 17s. Get out of here, fam.
And apparently, I guess for every pair that's burned, someone else buys those Nikes and those Jordans, because I think their sales went through the roof once Colin came in as a spokesperson.
I know that as soon as it happened, I bought a Nike Colin Kaepernick shirt.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, hell yeah. Because I was hyped. I was like, it's about time that he got something. Now, do I think that it was convenient for Nike to all of a sudden choose a side? Similarly with this whole Black Lives Matter thing, when you had certain companies starting to choose a side because you start to see the pendulum shift and people saying, if you are not actively with us, then you're against us. Like Uber. Uber don't give a fuck about nobody. But Uber's like Black Lives Matter or Netflix, like these different people who like once the smoke got really, really big, they decide, okay, let me say that I'm with y'all so y'all don't boycott me too, because I can't take it.
Again, as long as I don't have to see you not being against me, then I'll take your strong black lead on Netflix. I will take whatever campaign that you are pushing at me, as long as it's not coming out that you're against me. And if you are against me, then I guess that is what it is. Y'all could be against me. I don't fucking know. I don't see it. So
I am.
Well, actually, I am.
That actually makes
I know
sense.
that you are.
I am.
I have no friend at this table.
I'll take all the love I can
How'd I get in this? How'd I get in this?
I mean, because y'all niggas for a long time.
You see, she turns on our allies. We said that on another episode.
I sat here and said it's not surprising that you would be against her. She's like, yeah, I don't got no friends at the table. God damn.
She turns on our allies. Speaking of Netflix, they're talking about canceling Netflix. Obama Netflix. Because of that whole cutie show. I didn't watch it, but did you hear about?
I saw a little bit of it because Mrs. Najee started watching it. Now, it did feel a little bit weird, but then there's also there is a big thing. I was watching Black AF the other day, and for the first time ever. I've never watched it, but one of the episodes they were talking about the over sexualization of young black women.
Yes.
And so I was like, damn, that is a thing. But it didn't matter to me because coming up, like, I was like, damn, she fine. Like, when I was her age, like, I loved Rudy. That was my nigga. Like, I was gonna marry Rudy.
Or Ashley from Fresh Prince.
Like, Raven Simone before she went crazy. Like, all these people, like, I loved them when they were younger. Like, no matter how they may have people probably over-sexualized them, but to me, I was like, they were my age. So I was like, you fine. You know what I'm saying? What you want me to do?
Right.
Yeah.
But the show felt weird. Because it had like these little girls, and they were in like these short clothes, and they were like dancing. And it's like, this is weird, and it makes me feel some kind of way. Like, I don't feel comfortable watching this because I don't have enough space on the screen to divert my eyes to while y'all are going through y'all little dance routine. Yes, you're just dancing, and yes, it is innocent. But when I see people do those same dances, in my age range, it's because they're eliciting a response from me that they'll get. I don't want to have to figure out how to differentiate the whole like, oh, let me shut this off because these are children here. Like, no, that's weird. I just don't want the kids to be doing that shit in the first place.
I agree with that. There's a time and place for certain things for kids and adults, and I don't think you should put kids in certain situations. Not to say that men or adults can't be held accountable for how they think and feel. I don't think you should readily put it out there like that. That's my issue with those kinds of things. I talked with a sort of friend of mine recently about like babies or young kids wearing bikinis or stuff like that. It's like, yeah, of course, yes, the adult should know not to look at her a certain way, but also maybe she doesn't need to wear a bikini. She's a child. I don't know, like this. Don't do that.
And put on rouge.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the lady said that the reason she put that show out, she was wanting to bring attention to the sexualization of young girls and what they see in society, and it was supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. Do you think it would have been better received if it was a documentary instead of, you know, not trying to tell nobody how to present their information, but if it was a documentary where they explored that kind of stuff and maybe they were interviewing live girls that were going through something like that and saying, hey, Kaylee's 12 years old.
Perhaps.
I think I would have been able to watch it and appreciate it differently. However, what she wanted to happen happened. I was unfucking comfortable. And I was uncomfortable because these are kids.
Yeah.
But and that's exactly what they wanted. And I'm pretty sure that's how they sold it to Netflix. It was like, look, we really want to bring attention to X, Y, and Z, but we don't want to make it known that this is what we're doing because then people will try to like look past what's actually happening on the screen to try to get behind the plot or whatever because they know why we're doing it. But sometimes you got to do shit and just do it and not tell someone why you're doing it and see what their reaction is to it to understand what do you really feel. And I felt uncomfortable and I was literally like 3 minutes into that show and I was like, I can't watch this. I can't do this.
When I saw the previews and I saw that they were talking about it, I was like, I will not be watching that show. Like, I was like, I don't even want to be involved in nothing like that. Like, I don't want that. I don't want no other suggestions popping up.
Not from that.
From Netflix. Because you watch Cuties. Here are more shows like Cuties.
Now, Big Mouth, I fuck with Big Mouth.
The title didn't even excite me. I was like, that doesn't even look interesting. Next. Like, I didn't even think about it.
No, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Well, what about them canceling Ben and Jerry's or trying to cancel Ben and Jerry's?
Is ice cream ever canceled? Like, people are crazy. People
so
are out of
many
their
choices.
minds.
Wait, but what are they canceling for? I thought they were speaking out on all these different things.
They're speaking out against racism, but they're also coming up with different flavors for their ice cream and all this kind of stuff. And they were like,
they were good flavors.
And again,
titles.
People were saying things like, you shouldn't. We want our company to stay out of politics, and you shouldn't blame it, because they were having like flavors like white people don't be uncomfortable or some shit like that. Like they were literally putting these flavors out there like that. And so, you know.
Also, the people who wanted to cancel them were the ones who felt uncomfortable with them speaking out.
Exactly.
Okay, the shut up and dribblers of the world.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, fuck them.
You hit it right on the head. I mean, look, I have no problem with these companies stepping up and standing on the right side of history. Like, I think that, you know, regardless of why they feel like they need to do it, they did it. Yeah. You know, even when they have those companies that say, well, you know, we want to take an active hand in hiring more black people. Oh, they're trying to reach a quota. Whatever the case is, you're changing the way that you view something and you're becoming more inclusive. And who knows, by you making those actions that may have just been a good business decision for you, you'll realize it's a good business decision and it's the right thing to do.
It gives you the opportunity to change.
Yes.
And if you continue to do what you've been doing for the longest, you'll never see what the other side's actually like. The grass ain't always greener, but like when you start to include people and you have diversity and inclusion, it's greener over there. More people to fertilize the shit.
Hell yeah. Who doesn't want the ice cream with a side? Fuck you, white person. That's a racist. That's a racist.
And
Esquire hates it when I act like this. I said white person, that's a racist. I said I gave him a type of person.
I don't hate it. I just don't. I just want you to be blessed. Well, look, this has been this shit right here. Hope you've enjoyed our cancel culture discussion topic. I felt like it was very informative.
Hell yes.
Learned a whole lot, and we'll go from there. So, you know what?
Tell us who you canceling.
Tell us right now who you got your eye on canceling right fucking now.
Who do y'all think is on the next wave for cancellation?
I got people in my life I'm considering canceling. So there's that.
Probably Brett Favre once.
Brett Favre.
Once.
Well, I wouldn't know Cheesehead no way, so fuck him.
Letter out about sport. I think people don't really have a long discussion with these Trump voters afterwards. Like it's 70
ain't gonna be no discussion.
Can people really? Can we have like someone to define what a socialist is?
I feel like it's like a completely different episode. But yes,
like I mean like for the world. Like, can we have like a world definition just that's like that just flies across the sky?
I would, or maybe we have pamphlets in our mailboxes that
it's honestly not
a quick read.
That simple. Like the definition is pretty.
It is simple. It's not what you think it is. That's gonna be the definition.
It's not what they saying it is.
Socialism is not what you think. So.
Socialism is a political and economic theory of social organization which advocates the means of production, distribution, exchange should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. Which is why when you hear Joe Biden saying things like he's going to have the Obamacare with a public option. So the public option part is what makes people think that it's socialist, but it's also still privatized. People like you, us who have big company insurance and things like that. But other people will have an option that is community owned. So,
or redistribution of wealth,
correct.
Taking, taxing the hell out of somebody and then giving it out to a public. Those can be considered socialist policies, but those are not. That doesn't take into account taxes in regards to capitalistic societies.
Yeah,
people paying their fair share. How do you pay for roads and bridges? How do you pay for schools? Things that everybody utilizes because it's all full
correct.
circle. If you're paying for better roads and bridges, okay, you have a company that's shipping out across the United States. They use those roads and bridges. So it's all full circle. It's not just, there's a subsection of Florida where we send 50% of our taxes to. Mm-hmm. We don't have any connection with them at all. We just want to take care of them. That's not what it is. But that is an episode, another topic for another episode. Let's go ahead and slip into our FUBU moment, please.
It's your FUBU moment. FUBU moment. It's your FUBU moment.
FUBU.
This is your FUBU moment, ladies and gentlemen. Kamala, Degeneres, Regine. What is her middle name? Do we know?
Wow.
I don't know what her middle name is.
Nevea.
Kamala.
I wanted to give her every hood name
of
we
House
could think
of House Shamala.
Kamala of House Shamala.
Mm-hmm. Kamala Aquanetta. Kamala Denise.
Devi.
Devi.
D-E-V-I.
Devi. Probably Devi.
Does that sound Jamaican?
It's probably Indian.
Probably Indian too. I thought she may have took a piece like her mom's name and then like her dad's name, Devi. I didn't know if that was like a.
Well, I don't think she did it.
Well, y'all discussed the semantics of Kamala's name.
Her parents, if they decided to do that.
They probably said you can get your Jamaican last name, but we're going to give you this Indian middle name.
And maybe first name. Well, I guess the first name could be black or Indian.
Could be Kamala Shamala.
Kamala.
We saved our shot, everybody. So for those of you who are listening out here, because I have faithful listeners who take their shots along with us when they listen to the pod, and I'm thankful for them. We saved the shot right now on purpose. We didn't tell y'all in the beginning because sometimes you just got to do shit and see how people respond without telling them why you did it. But we saved this shot. We saved this shot for the vice president elect, Kamala Devi Harris. Kamala D. Harris.
Yes, there we go. Imhoff, yes.
Imhoff. Is she hyphenated?
In parentheses. No,
I don't know if it's hyphenated.
I don't think she took his name because he didn't go to law school, as all these empowered black people say.
Wow.
So she probably does not have his last name.
She said, that's me. So shout out to her, not only first female vice president, but the first female vice president of color.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Whether she wants to claim to be a black woman or not, I don't give a fuck.
True that.
She there. Because they look at her like a black woman.
Or both.
Yes.
Because she is.
The edge is black as fuck.
She's
but
both.
It's okay. Y'all, we can claim her. Y'all can claim her.
We did it, Joe.
We did it, Joe. We won.
She looked like she was like outside.
They were running.
She'd been drinking.
No, she and her husband were on a run.
They were on a walk, and she was
been drinking.
singing her words.
We did it, Joe. So here's to her and all of the beautiful black women that she inspires moving forward. Shout out to that. Bottoms up, nigga.
Shamala, Kamala, Hamala, Samana.
Oh, there's another one.
There's
Speaking
always
of
extras.
Oh, I told my cousin who was listening the other day that there was 2 shots on one podcast, so she poured up her second one. But I remember we took the second one off air. And I was like, sorry.
She poured another one up.
No, she took the first shot with us when she was listening, and then she poured the second
Let's
one.
not do this
This is
over
not
there.
working, but this is not a good idea. Thank you.
It's like, let's not do
Just
this
like a
over
nigga to
here.
take
Over
from
there.
a black woman.
Why did you give me this baby ass shot?
Because I didn't know how much was left. There's clearly, I think there's enough for both of us to have more.
You don't need to pour this over your like.
You gonna cover the back?
No, it was a drip came down.
Drip drop.
Rain down on me. Let your love just shine with me. Oh, rain.
So yes, we love you, Kamala. We are so proud. We're excited. We're fucking excited. Let these Republicans do what they do. We're still excited. We're not gonna let nobody stop that shine. We love it. We love to see it. We also love to see. We got another shot poured up.
We do.
For Stacey Abrams, as well as
Stacey Jeanette.
Stacey Jeanette, as well as anyone else in the state of Georgia. 'Cause I saw a tweet about that. About they listed like 5 or 6 other black women who've been doing some things with Stacey also in Georgia, who have turned Georgia blue. And so in one way or another, like shout out to y'all for being like, you know what, we got to do better and get people out there that vote. When we saw that Georgia flip blue, I was like, yes.
Shit got real.
And Stacey, and shout out to Stacey, who recognizes that there are other people out there.
Yes.
That did, so she'll never take credit for.
Yes.
She says, me and someone else. I just happen to be able to raise more money.
Yes.
Shout out to Miss Jeanette.
Shout out to them. Let's also shout out
future cabinet member.
A future cabinet
Yes.
member.
Here's
yes.
hoping Uncle Joe do what you're supposed to do now.
And if not Uncle Joe, Auntie Kamala, somebody give her.
Yes.
She needs something in Washington because fuck
Auntie
Georgia.
VP. Also, shout
After
out
the
to
runoffs. After the runoffs.
After
the runoffs. She can't go
January-
nowhere to after the runoffs.
after
Not
January
till-
5th. There we go.
Not it.
Also, shout out to Cori Bush, a Black Lives Matter, one of those like she
Activist.
one of those activists there, who is now the first Black female Congresswoman out of Missouri.
Oh, sweet.
And that's what's up. Missouri is real red.
That
so shout out
state
to
was
you.
red as fuck.
Red
Yes.
as fuck.
That
So
state
shout out
was
to you.
crimson.
Yes.
And she had never had that type of experience. She was just out here being an activist. So shout out to you, Corey. That's what's up.
And who
Get in
else?
there, do your shit.
Lastly but not
least, to niggas, black voters everywhere. Pennsylvania, Georgia,
Philly,
Michigan,
Atlanta,
let me tell y'all something.
Detroit.
Y'all showed up and showed out once again. Shout out to black voters everywhere for doing what the fuck you had to do because we had no other choice. Thank you.
And shout out to the allies
Yes.
who voted in these big key places.
Yes.
Yes.
And their votes mattered.
Yes.
Their votes counted.
Yes. If you're an
Yes.
ally listening to us right now,
Counted.
shout out to you.
Stop the count.
They will not stop the
Yes.
fucking count. So this shout out to them, right?
Yes. To all I want to say to all my friends that I know listen
yeah,
that
to
told
the
me they
friends.
were voting for voting in the right direction. Thank y'all. You know, as we appreciate you.
Voting in the right
allies,
direction.
friends. It's very important for that we know that y'all are on our side. We thank you. This shot is for y'all.
I'm on your side.
I love you. I need you to survive.
Washington's on your side.
Yes.
And what was that one again? That was a round table
That's
shot.
the round table, but the first one always has something extra because I pour it in first because it's fizzy. The second one doesn't have the fizzy part.
Oh, that's what to avoid the shake and explode.
Yes.
Yes.
But then we never have the fizzy for the second round.
Fizzy?
Fizzy. That is our food moment. This is a moment for all of us, y'all. Like we said, we got a lot of work to do. The work is not done. We're going to let these Republicans sort their shit out. But this is a moment for us, and let us take it. Let us not waste it. This has been another episode of Knights of the Round Table, episode 4, season 3. We've been out here goofing off, having a good time. Things are going all the way left, but we like it. We love to see it.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Y'all keep talking to us. We've enjoyed the contact we've had with y'all over now in the last couple weeks on the Instagrams. Hit us up. It's been fun. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see. Check the playlists out. They coming. Check out the other episodes. Y'all go back and check some of our old episodes. And
What's the email?
email?
nightroundclt@gmail.com.
Yes.
Or you can speak to us on Instagram. Send us a DM at nightrounds.
Slide in there.
And the Twitter, is the
Slide
Twitter
in.
still at nightrounds?
Should be the same thing.
Yes, the Twitter is at Night Rounds.
Are we even active? We watch Twitter a whole lot, but are we active on that?
What if
mean-
people are talking to us on Twitter and we don't even know?
They're not.
Right.
They're not?
They're not.
All
okay.
right. Najee says y'all not talk to us, man.
There's no tweet for us.
You know?
Lonely tweet. Okay.
That's cool. But thank y'all for listening and sticking with us. Y'all be safe out there. Stay masked up wherever you are. Wear your mask.
Wear a mask.
Masked up.
And we gonna get on out of here. This has been another episode of Nights at the Round Table. This your girl Coley. Who's leaving out of here with me?
It's your boy Esquire.
We did it, Joe. You're about to be the next president of the United States, Joe. We did it, Joe.
That was a terrible moment.
That is what bad edges sound like.
Oh no!
Wow, but you know what?
But hers weren't bad.
I was about to say, by that night, that shit was blown out.
No, but her edges were never bad. But I want y'all to know, if you want to know what bad edges sound like, we did it, Joe.
Are you leaving with us, or you staying behind?
Oh, I'm going. I'm leaving, Joe.
We getting out of here. Y'all be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. We will catch y'all next time. It's been Nice at the Round Table. We out.
Joe.